Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome on this Saturday, May 15th. Is it May 15th or sorry, May 16th? Forgive me. My first mistake of the morning, and I just started.
Because we got up and went out, David.
Yeah, what a fun morning.
I mean, it's amazing.
My wife and I had. Tell. What we do.
You say it, it's your show.
Before the story is my show, yeah.
Why don't you show them the spoils?
Well, I'll explain what we did. So often on a Saturday morning, as much as I love doing this program, we're here live on Saturdays from 9 until noon or thereabouts doing Dave's Gone By, this very show. So the one thing that it doesn't allow me to do with my wife and I living here in northern Maryland, in northern Baltimore, is that here all the garage sales, all the yard sales are Saturday mornings. Unlike when we lived in Colorado or New York, where garage sales would go for 2 days. They'd be from 9 a.m. until 5:30 in the afternoon.
There are some that go 2 days, but it's more rare.
Yeah. Invariably, most of the yard sales around these parts, and yes, we're in the South, so it's these parts.
Them parts.
You're right. Excuse me. These days, pronouns, who knew? But most of the garage sales, 8 to 12. Or if you're lucky, 8 to 1, 9 to 1. So it means that I miss one of my favorite things to do during the week is just go schwitzering to garage sales and yard sales and look at the crap people are throwing out and maybe buy a piece of crap. And it's fun. And it's cheap. It's like this. It's like, how can, this is an old donut crusted with filth. How could you throw that out? I want this. Right? So I don't actually want that, but I'll buy stuff, something just for fun. I shared with you on the last episode an amazing haul from a previous yard sale, a Liberace Christmas record.
That's true.
Yeah, man. 2 books about Smoke Hole, West Virginia.
Was there 2 or 3? You had 2.
2. There was a third one written, but
trilogy.
I wonder if they had the third one and somebody bought it. More Tales from Smoke Hole. And what else? A comic book, a Marvel comic book with Barack Obama on the cover and in a story in the comic book.
The main character, yeah.
And unbelievably, I didn't buy the Newsweek that they had for the week that RFK, the original RFK was shot back in 1960s, whatever it was. So if I really crawled around there, I probably would have found a bunch of amazing things. Yeah, nice. So, but that was a rarity to be able to go to and enjoy a yard sale on a Saturday morning. So earlier this week, my wife and I were looking, and she says, well, there's one yard sale. We see the signs in the neighborhood, and it starts at 8.
Most of them do. We just never got up.
Yeah, because
we're up, we just never got out.
Because we got to eat in the morning, we do other things, and then I start the show at 9. But this time, last night, my wife was like, you know what? Wake me up. We'll set the alarm, and we'll go, right? We'll get out of the house. We'll leave by 8. It's not like we're driving miles and miles to go to these sales. It'll be local. We'll spend a few minutes. You'll pop around, see if you find something, and then we'll get back in time to start your show, which we actually did. We didn't oversleep. The alarm worked. We were ready. We were up and out, and boom, we even had breakfast. And off in the car by like 5 after 8. 5 minutes later, we're driving around. We find the yard sale, and it's one of these multiples, right? It's one location near the local.
We didn't know that. Did we know that?
Yeah, it's a swim. When they said it was a swim club thing, I knew.
You knew it was one.
So there's like 8 different tables.
Because when they had it in the front, it was pretty sparse. Maybe, remember we used to go in the front of the swim club in the parking lot. It was pretty sparse.
Well, but we would get there at 5 to 1.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
So this was 8 to 12, and we got there, and mostly it was crap. Children's games and toys and stuff.
I think it was just for kids.
Yeah, things that my wife and I I'm 62 years old. She's a little younger than I am. It's like, do not necessarily need an ambulance truck that makes noises. Do not need a size
Well, I felt
4
bad. The one
shirt.
was all the girls' reading collection. Like it was, if they had someone had a little girl, they were all like a. It was a series of books, like popular kids' books, But
And they had some crochet things and some games and puzzles.
Pickle Fez, dirty pickle soda, yeah.
So, so we're just marching up and down and not taking a lot of time about it because I had to get back and do the show. But I'm eyeballing, and there's a little bit of jewelry, and I'm saying, hon, if you see any necklace, anything, give a whistle. But I did find 2 things that I was like, yes, I'm going to buy these. And there were 3 things I was kind of interested in. One of them was a paint by numbers Bob Ross, which, have we not seen that documentary about Bob Ross? You want to tell? You want to tell?
Well, it just said that he or his family, I don't know, something with the wife, there was some breakup of the family, but he doesn't own, his estate doesn't get any of the profits. I mean, that's unfortunate.
His name, his image, his hair is on everything, but it's not, those rights were sold to something that has absolutely nothing to do with Bob Ross's immediates or whatever. Yeah. So whenever we see it, it's a little bit tainted. Still would have gotten if it were $1, but there was a little, one of these boxes that we always get of these items that make noise, or Frisbee golf mini, cornhole mini, which we got. This was a Bob Ross paint by numbers. I was tempted, ladies and gentlemen, because it was one of these 2 for $5 deals. It was like $3 for an item or 2 for $5. So
you do your current vibe is yard sale.
Yes. Yeah. So, the temptation is there. It's got the bargain aspect, which I love. It's a morning yard sale. It's kitschy crap, which I also, what's not to like? But I'm like, okay, let me leave the Bob Ross paint by numbers aside for the moment and see what else they have. And on that table were 2 other things. Now, if you could hand me kindly just the top of the box or the card or something so I can show it.
We'll play it now.
Yeah, all right. Let's do it. Let's do it.
You have to pick up, I'm going to give you, when you give me that back, I'm going to give you a purple.
Could this be more right for me?
Yes.
Puns
Sure, take your
of
marker.
Anarchy.
That's your marker, the eraser's on the top. Now, what you're to do is...
What am I to do? Yeah.
First, pick any of the purple cards.
Okay, so let me show the box on camera.
You're going to pick a purple card.
I'm going to pick a purple card at random.
Yes, and what does it say? That's your topic.
Okay, I'm going to try and pick a purple card at random. Here it is. Here it is.
Okay,
Here's
that's your topic.
All right.
Let me see.
Oh, you want me to...
Yeah,
do
we
I
have to see it.
Oh.
What's the part of that?
So the topic is uncontrollable... That's me.
Now you pick,
That is my life. Uncontrollable thoughts.
Now pick 1 green for me, 1 green for you.
Oh, you want me to pick yours?
Yeah.
Do you want the first pick or the second?
You pick. It's up to you. You're in charge.
All right, I'm going to pick 1 green
Okay.
and another green.
Okay.
And now you can... I'll give you the box.
No, you give me the green.
I will give you one of the greens, yeah. So which green do you want? Pick left or right?
Here.
All right, here you go.
And now you have to take this, and you have to make one of the words into something that makes it an uncomfortable thought. So these are common phrases in language, and you have to.
And do you tell the other person what
Yeah, you
on the
gotta
green?
show them, and I guess.
Oh, you're writing on the card.
Yeah, it's a marker that comes off. It's an erasable marker.
Oh, I see. All right, so you've already done. All right, show me yours, and I'll show you mine.
No, you gotta do your.
Oh, I gotta do mine first. Okay.
Yeah, that's the game.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable thoughts. You gotta add some letters to it.
Okay, take away.
No, you gotta add it. I guess you can.
Yeah, you have to be able to take. Okay. All right.
Here's mine.
So yours, by the way, this was uncomfortable thoughts.
Yeah. You
So
can try another one too.
her initial card
Yes.
was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes.
So you wrote
Mighty Morphin Power Strangers.
Power Strangers, which is an uncomfortable.
Yes.
Cool.
See,
Okay, I get that.
Yes. That's an uncomfortable thought. It's like
Yeah.
and look what
Oh, you gotta erase it.
And then you erase it with this. See.
Oh, cool.
And,
Oh, it works.
And then we put it. Oh, None of my tea, but we're gonna do another one so we get it right.
Well, let me do mine. I did.
Yours, yeah.
So again, my thing was uncomfortable thoughts,
Yes.
and my word was the Twilight Zone, which I of course changed into the highlight bone.
Now erase it,
Yeah.
and you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna put one purple and two green. And give
All right,
it
hold on.
to
Let
green.
me work the eraser on this thing.
Okay, I'll erase yours, honey. Here.
It's gross. Okay, we got it. It's fairly clean.
So these we take out. Okay.
And also the purple's gone.
Because we're not gonna do it again. Now
By the way, you're watching Dave's Gone By, in case I
one
forgot.
more, you
Pick another purple.
Take
One purple and two
and
greens.
then you could give us each two. Give us one.
All right, so here's our purple.
What is the category?
Okay, the category is, I'll tell you right now. Oh, wholesomeness.
Oh no, get another one. That's what you do.
Oh, you pick the green cards this time, yeah.
Okay, I'll do it. Men.
Manly men. Okay, here we go. So this is my card,
And don't say
and she's
that.
picking a green card too. My wife is looking askance. Do you want to change cards?
Oh, I don't know.
How does this even? All right. This will only take a moment, folks.
Okay. Oh, man.
How does this?
Oh, I got a better one.
All right.
I'm taking out a letter.
Oh.
I amused with myself. Okay.
All right. Here we go.
Right.
So again, the initial
Yeah.
topic had to be men,
Yes.
and now your
The
original was.
the grass is always greener on the other side, and I changed it for. What a
This
man
is
would
this is
say.
great. She just simply went, the gas is always greener. She's been married to me for 28 years, ladies and gentlemen, so she knows the sounds I make.
In honor of pig too.
Mine is a little nastier, as it ordinarily would be.
Can we do
So
one more?
yeah, let me
Yeah.
we'll have one more after this. It'll be the tiebreaker because you win this one.
Okay.
Mine is just nasty. It's how sometimes men feel when they're with the wrong type of woman. So instead of the Beach Boys, it's like, yeah, we feel like the bitch toys.
Here, I'll erase yours.
Oh, if you don't mind,
I
yeah.
don't like it, yeah. So give me that. We can't.
And you have to erase yours also. We're gonna do one more of these and then
I
continue
like
with
it.
the program.
I think this is really fun. You got to put the green one. Put the green
But
one.
how do you? I guess it's a vote up to which
I
is
don't know,
the.
there must be some way, but we're not playing. You need 3 people to play. There's only 2, so we can't play. I guess
Oh, yeah.
people vote to see if it's good, but we can't do it. Can I put purple?
Here's the
one?
perpy.
We can't vote because we don't have enough people.
We don't have any. Yeah.
I guess you have to have 3 to the vote.
Or
to
one
see who
arbiter
wins.
who's neutral or something. All right, we're gonna do one more
Yeah,
purple
this is-
card.
Wait.
Oh, you okay? Okay, here comes the purple. And we're gonna pick the cards before I show the thing. So I'm gonna go for a greenie.
We each get a greenie, yeah?
Yeah. One greenie for me, and one greenie for you. Here's your greenie,
Okay.
All right.
Oh, God.
and here's your card. So
Oh, thank you.
the
I'm gonna put the cards back, okay?
yeah,
The
please
old
do.
ones, okay,
So the topic
yeah.
is spending time with your family. Spending time with your family. We have to make a pun utilizing. Eh.
Okay.
All right, so
No, don't touch it with the knife.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Here we go. The topic is, and by the way, we're playing puns of anarchy. I have already gotten my money's worth. My $2.50.
I just kicked the drum.
Oh, ooh.
I enjoy it.
Well, that was a base thing to do. Maybe it's symbolic.
We should have got more of that cloth. It looks lovely. Look at it.
Oh, yeah, no, I should have gotten the bigger, but I was too cheap. Here's Puns of Anarchy. The topic is spending time with your family. So, I forget. I'll remember whose is whose. So here's one. This is yours. Okay. The original is 10 Things I Hate About You.
I tried to end on a positive note.
Yeah.
10 things I love or hate about you.
Or love or hate. So you don't just cross out hate. You put in love or hate.
Yes.
That's all. Oh,
That's real.
that's cute. I like that. And then,
I'll erase it.
what was mine? Mine for spending time with your family. I have literally no idea. But I guess when I'm with my wife, or basically anybody, instead of Winnie the Pooh, I had spinning the poop.
How does that go?
Well, I always talk about poop, and I look at it in the toilet when it's going down. And I've got, what else? What would you do with Winnie the Pooh? About family?
Get me, I'll erase that.
Yeah. Winging
Do you
the...
want to do one more?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. So, but this was fun. Oh, and here's the purple. Here's the purple card. Now, speaking of poop, and speaking of gas, which of course we already have, it's like we don't get very far on this show without talking about certain bodily functions, fluids, noises, and air. The other fantastic item that I got on our yard sale excursion just an hour ago, at this point, not even, was...
What came up?
Oh boy. Thank God it's not tarot.
Here.
What is this? Now, this is my card. Yikes. I'm glad. Yeah, that would have been
Hard.
interesting, yeah. Let's see. What would you do with Winnie the Pooh and death? Well, I've got to see how that really works. You just change letters, take out letters, turn letters. I got to see.
Okay.
But anywho, the other part of my $5 bill went for this.
Let me see.
An adorable animal item.
He's cute.
He's very, very cute. Not only that, he is Stinky the pig. Stinky
Yes.
the pig. Notice the stain on his belt. I don't know why they would put that, or is that his udder thing, or it's a girly?
I think he's got maybe he farted on himself.
Maybe that's why.
I'm hoping it's his udders. Let's just say it's his
Yeah,
udders.
we'll go with udders.
Let's just say that.
And it's apparently a game. Well, not apparently a game. It's a game. Pass him fast. It's a gas. Push Stinky the pig's belly to hear him sing. Then roll the die to see which way to pass him.
Oh.
Quickly pass him left or right, and hurry before he toots. And if you're holding Stinky Pig when he passes gas, you have to take a token. But that's bad news because the person with the fewest tokens wins. So in other words, if you're caught holding the pig, it's musical chairs, essentially, with a farting pig. So let's hear him sing. So I wonder if it changes each time, if he has a different amount of song that he does. Oh, see, that's how it goes. The song is sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, so you're never quite sure when the fart is coming.
That's why you have to pass the pig quickly.
This is genius, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Play Monster game, copyright 2016. Oh, and made in China. So you know it's all high-quality materials, non-toxic for
Did
children.
Rex Reed die?
Yeah. Oh, we were going to talk about that. Yeah, yeah.
I'm reading your feed.
And what's interesting is he's not on key. He kind of changed his key in the middle there.
Of course.
Or it might be my ears. So he's not a really good singer.
He's a pig. He's not like,
He's very
Barbara
cool.
Streisand. He's a pig.
What's interesting, contents include, here we go, Stinky Pig, die. That's a rather horrible.
Oh, dice.
Yeah,
dice.
well, no, it's just one die. But it's Stinky Pig, die. 50 tokens and rules. There's not 50. Oh, there are 50 tokens in there. So let's do it one more time. I'm going to have them handy for the rest of the show whenever I need a noise or a song or a sound that goes like this. I wish I had a more realistic sounding fart, though.
Yeah, that's true. You try and then I'll hit that.
Yeah, well, if I do it, my pants are going to be ruined. Anywho, welcome again. This is Dave Lefkowitz. That's my darling and adorable wife, and you are watching the 1032nd episode of The Dave's Gone By, Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream on this May 16th, 2026. Very, very happy to be here with you doing this episode, doing every episode for you, where, before we get to other stuff, I do want to tell you what's going to be on this particular iteration of the Daverhood. We're calling this episode POM de terre, because pomme de terre means potato, which is a very, very beautiful thing, as we all know. But also POM, the POM part, refers to our guest, who's going to be joining us in about an hour. His name is Craig Pomranz, and Craig is a cabaret artist, cabaret singer, and performer. He is going to be at Don't Tell Mama. Let me make sure I have the date on this. This time I actually have his info. It's this coming Tuesday, May 19th. He's doing his show, Love is a Necessary Evil.
Oh, wow.
At Don't Tell Mama. And he'll be with us to talk about that. He also wrote a book called Made by Rafi, which weirdly enough has nothing to do with the children's entertainer Rafi, but it's about a child who likes to do like yarn or crochet or something like that and takes crap because he, she, they is a boy. And then he's also got a couple of CDs out. Craig Pomranz is going to be talking about all of that, his music, his career, not to mention the fact that Craig, despite a name that is about as Anglo-American as you can imagine, was raised a very serious Orthodox Jew. So fun stuff. Obviously, I won't be talking to him. Obviously, the interview is going to be conducted by the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon. So he'll be doing the honors, and actually, Rabbi Sol will be doing double duty today. I said duty. Rabbi Sol. Oh, what is this? Oh! We're taking a potato break. Here's the big Idaho potato truck. Yes. Wait for it. There it is. But Rabbi Sol has a kind of a sad rabbinical reflection today. It's his 207th mini sermon, his reflection on the world at large. It's a eulogy for the late and quite wonderful Abraham Foxman, who was the CEO, the head of the Anti-Defamation League. So Rabbi Sol will be talking about his career, what he meant, what the ADL does, particularly in these marvelous times for Jewish people all over the world. He was debating, it was just around the time that New York Times article came out that everybody is literally wants to burn down the New York Times right now, me among them. But Rabbi Sol's he's going there a little bit. But mainly it is to praise the late Abe Foxman, and you can watch that right here on Dave's Gone By on this very episode. We will also be going to Greeley, Colorado. Speaking of potatoes, I'm not sure how that relates to potatoes, but Greeley, my wife and I lived... Potato Day, that's right. My wife and I lived in Greeley for a little over 11 years, and while we were there, a couple of things happened. First of all, we noticed that in the Greeley Tribune newspaper, every week, the staff there would get the logs of actual phone calls that came into the Greeley and Weld County Police Department from people calling about things that scare them in the neighborhood. Well, the weirdest, craziest ones were collated by the Trib and put in a column every week, the funniest ones. The funniest of those we share with you on a segment called Greeley Times. We do it every week. We have been for, my God, well over a decade now. Please to enjoy. And then also, speaking of Colorado, for no good reason, I never have a good reason for things, but for no good reason, I do a poem every week about a different place in Colorado. Sometimes a really big city, sometimes the tiniest little hamlet or a ghost town, as long as I can rhyme it 3 times within the context of a limerick. And we call them the Colorado Limericks of the Damned, because not only are they poems, but they're supposed to be amusing, humorous, and because it's me, they're also risque, disgusting, evil, and horrible. So this week's Colorado Limerick of the Damned will be going to Colorado City, Colorado. We have a poem about it, and we're going to share it with you. And if that were not enough, and as David Letterman would say, and by gosh, don't you think it ought to be, we will conclude on this episode of the show, part 3 of 3, our story time, wherein Logan Pryce makes a mess. Yes, we've been reading the book.
For a cow?
His family was having to move. It's from week to week. I do not remember one word of the stupid book.
I don't know why he was something doing.
It was something about they had to move because the father couldn't make a go of the house.
He just was in the kitchen all the time, not working.
Right, yeah, he was letting the field go to seed. Now he's in, the kid is in school. He's talking to, they're playing marbles, he's talking to his friend who's got a job in the factory. Pa does have a job. I don't remember a word. And the kid is going to help out with the father at the general store. It's like an interim job while the father's waiting for his real job. So they're going to be helping Mrs. Mayberry at her general store. And that's where we left off last time. Oh joy, we return to Maple Ridge for Logan Pryce makes a mess. So all of that and more on this episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream. So, you did bring up that we did, unfortunately, he was not a friend of the Daverhood. I guess it never occurred to me to ask him to be on the show. I should have. But theater critic, film critic, Rex Reed, and short-time actor, too, did pass this past week. He was 87 years old, so not too shabby. He had a fall a few months ago, and it was one of those things where he was basically fine till the fall, and then downhill, all his systems started going.
But it could also be that he was going downhill that made him fall, so he might have already been on the descent. You know?
True.
A lot of people are writing about it on your feed, that's how I knew.
Oh, on Red, yeah, because we all knew him. I mean, I didn't know him personally, but a lot of the people, my colleagues, theater people.
That was a person or just as a writer?
Well, Rex Reed, we all read him, but he's known as a theater critic, as a film critic. He was on at the movies for a couple of years on TV, and he's known for reviewing film, but he's also been the theater critic for many years for The Observer. And so we read his theater reviews as well. I'm sure we knew him from covering theater, because that's the circle that I would move in. But I did not know this. Did you know that Rex Reed was adopted?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, who knew?
You did a
Well, his obit.
wow.
His wiki obit.
Where did he live? Where was he born?
He was. You can tell from his accent. He was born in Texas and raised in the South, raised in Louisiana. And then what happened was he first became known not even for critiquing, but for doing celebrity interviews that really got in there in a different way from the Hollywood streamlined puff piece fan magazine thing, and really doing, taking the celebrity sort of seriously, the warts and all thing. And as I said, raising the level of celebrity interview to something that belonged in a newspaper, a Vanity Fair, a Vogue, as opposed to, Teen Beat, something like that. Not that I know what's in Teen Beat, but I'm guessing. He also, you would figure he would have been. He was gay. He had a partner for 25 years. What's the matter? Oh, hi, Gigi. I don't know. thanks for watching. But the partner passed a few years ago, and Rex Reed had been solo ever since, I don't know if it was dating or something, but that was his only real, love of his life, and they were together for a quarter of a century, which is kind of great.
Is that person still alive?
No, they passed. As I said, they passed.
First, okay.
Yeah, but quite a few years ago. But Rex never. He might have moved on, but he didn't move on with another person.
Permanent partner.
Yeah. He wrote for a zillion.
How did his job of coming from such humble roots?
Well, the thing is, he wrote for a zillion daily newspapers and local magazines, but he hit the Observer. My wife's making fun because I just scratched my testes. I have an itchy scrotal sac that I just love. I've got one itch right there. Oh, we could talk about that. But since 1987, Reed has been at the Observer, which is quite amazing. And he was literally writing and working for them and submitting copy weeks before he died, which is kind of great. You will love this. Do you know who is one of his absolute closest friends?
Richard Simmons?
No, that would have made some sense, but no.
Who?
No. Who's your favorite person in the whole wide world besides me?
Angela Lansbury?
Yes.
They were friends?
They were great friends.
Is that real or just...
No, this is not AI bullshit.
No, they're real friends.
There's a story about them. I wrote this almost a week ago, so I forget what the thing was, but she was very nice to him over something, and then he was really nice to her over something, and they just, they bonded.
They were real friends. I like that.
Yeah. And this is a great quote from Rex Reed, just about life and death in movies. Quote, "It's all going to be over soon, and I don't want my last impression to be the headline, film critic found dead at computer reviewing a bad movie," unquote. Which, it could have been. Had he not died in his sleep, which he did, that might have been the end for him. And the thing about Rex, he took a lot of shit for his writing. He was beyond John Simon, who was the easy person to hate because he could be so mean sometimes, but was a significantly better writer than all of us put together. Reed was a very good writer, very readable, smart guy, but he could be, nasty and dismissive and mocking and mean and wrong about, of course, wrong being a judgmental term when you're doing something as subjective as reviewing films. But, he made his opinions clear. He was generally, again, not mean directly to a person the way John Simon was, but he could be. But famously, like John Simon, when there was a moment to change his mind with good evidence, he would. So, I very much remember Reed hated the actress Melissa McCarthy. Couldn't stand her in anything that she was doing, these silly comedies. He didn't find them funny. He found her not funny and also physically unattractive, which now you're starting to get into a realm of, do you really criticize someone for that? Something they can't hit. That's how they're born. This is how they look. She's overweight. She's this, she's that. And just, she could not cut a break with him, said all sorts of bad things about her in her movies. But then he saw her in, Can You Ever Forgive Me? Which is a very good movie about that woman who forged, she couldn't make ends meet. And she started going to these bookshops, antiquarian bookshops, and forging letters by people like Hemingway and Faulkner and Austen and something on special paper. And for basically, she wasn't living high on the hog, but she was paying her rent because she typed out a little letter, sign it with the famous writer's signature, get $400 for it, and that would pay her rent for 2 months. So she was caught. And they made a movie about it with Melissa McCarthy starring as this woman. And Rex Reed saw the film, and he said, well, first of all, I was familiar with this woman. I think I met her a time or two. And McCarthy is incredible. She captures this woman down to like the toenails. And it's a wonderful film, and it's a true film. It's a great film. And she's spectacular. She deserves the Oscar. So, it's a situation where he was able to say, I misjudged her. Maybe her previous films I still find sucky, but boy, oh boy, did I miss the boat on this woman. So good for him. He also did that, and every critic really does this. He did it for the films of Michael Haneke, who was this very difficult, very upsetting, he's either German or Danish director, and could not stand the films of this man until he made Amour, which was the story of this couple and the husband, or they both get Alzheimer's or something like that, and it's this slow descent into, having this wonderful city life of going to the opera, going to concerts, and living to being, needing constant caregiving and all that. And, so it's not a typical Haneke film, but it's a very deliberate movie for adults that's truthful and sad and real and so forth. And he said, this is a great film. I've hated this filmmaker up till this point.
Wow.
And yet, boom. So, gotta always say good for him, good for any critic who's able to do
But what do you think
that.
about the critic using personal taste to influence like lots of money? I mean,
It's the job.
it's the job.
Ask Ben Brantley and ask Walter Kerr, who's no longer, but at least when Walter Kerr was writing for, you should pardon the expression, the failing New York Times, there were 7 other newspapers at that point, each of them with some significant readership and influence. So there'd be the Tribune, the Times, the this, the that, the that. When Frank Rich and Brantley were writing, it's already narrowed down, and the Times had kind of almost unchecked power in terms of its influence to almost open and closed shows.
Whoa.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm concerned about, because what happens, like, who's the critic who used to sleep through stuff? Was it,
Well, that was Clive. He was
and then,
then he went to the Post, but Clive Barnes.
but like, what happens if you sleep through something and you don't care for it?
Well, we all did. The lights go down. You're tired. You probably had a meal before the show, and if the show isn't quite gripping you, you can say we all would see Clive Barnes like sitting in his little aisle seat, watching, and for 5, 10, whatever minutes, nodding off. It's happened to me. So he's not necessarily going to write in his review, "Oh, I slept." John Simon would.
That's
John
what I'm
Simon, when I
saying.
woke
Yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah.
they were
Because
babbling about this.
That's
But,
what, and then imagine you sleep through it and you give it a bad review and people, that's like,
Well, that's the thing.
if you sleep through something, shouldn't you not review it?
Yes and
If
no.
you sleep through an hour of a 3-hour show, you might have missed the best.
Or, if you sleep through a full hour, you probably should go back and re-review it or send it to another critic.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you sleep for 15 minutes because you're friggin' bored,
But how long do you know you're sleeping,
everybody, you're catnapping. You sort of look at your watch and you miss 5 minutes. Or your mind, even if you're not sleeping, if you're not that engaged, your mind's going to wander and suddenly say, wait, what is this conversation about? There was another scene going on and I just zoned with my eyes open. It happens. If you're seeing, as all these critics do, 4, 5, 7 shows a week, and you have to write about them, and probably up late doing your notes and doing that, and having the rest of your life to deal with, you're going to go to the theater sometimes, and it isn't even the show's fault. You got 3 hours of sleep the night before, and there you're like, and maybe the show's all right. It's just not bim, slam, bang, keeping you awake every 5 minutes.
Has anybody ever called them out on that? Like, what they're saying, why did you give me a bad review when you were sleeping?
No, but, well, first of all, the actors don't necessarily know.
Wouldn't somebody look?
But also, if you're... The other thing that Clive would, I believe, actually did say is like, well, I'm still listening, I'm just resting my eyes, which is the class. I'm like, which I've done that too. There have been times when I've been tired and zoning, and I'll be like, okay, for like the next minute or two, I'm going to hear what's going on. I'm not sleeping, but I can't keep my eyes open.
Can we get this album?
Yes, we can.
I don't know what's going on.
Just we're doing a bag album collective break here. Here it is. There's bag album covers.
What is that? What are they doing to that parakeet?
It's Pat's Boom, in case you didn't know. Hier sind der Germas, probably Dutch, and I don't know.
Can you tell me what's happening? I hope they're not cooking them.
Oh, well, the first song on the album that they're promoting is Die Canary van Ari. So the flying canary bird. Obviously, he flew the coop. That's the Bim Bam O. Bim Bam O. It's one of my favorite songs.
Bam, oh.
And then, of course, Wat en Klokketoren, which
Yes,
is
I
I know
that
you love
song.
that
I
one.
enjoy that song.
Hangenlieder. Eenmaal kommt der Liefde. It might be no, it's Dutch. Eenmaal kommt der Liefde in je leven en werden andere successes. Yeah,
Amen.
there's a team. At least it's not a gospel album. Half the
How do you know?
good point.
We don't know.
Actually, the bird one might be Norwegian wood.
I love you, and it's a canary on top.
Oh, is it? I didn't see. I missed that.
On this?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, look on their hat. It's a little canary on it, and it says "I love you." There's a little canary on top of the hat,
Yeah.
and then it says,
Oh, it flew out of the
"I
cage
love
to
you."
get on it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. If I didn't have copyright issues playing music,
Yes.
because you can probably find. Let me see if I can. What is the name of the? I'm not gonna play it. I can't play it. But
I don't know. No. I
yes,
can't.
yes. Who are they? What are their names?
PATSBOEM.
Pats Boehm.
Sim de Germas.
I'm afraid
Bam O.
I'm not seeing Bim Bam Oh. Let's see if they have that song somewhere. No, I'm afraid this wasn't one. Hasn't made YouTube. How sad. How sad. Anywho, so what was I saying? Oh, about well, yeah, that basically. So a farewell to Rex Reed, because whatever you felt about when he was dissing movies that you liked or dismissing movies entirely that had good parts to them, but he just went, "Ugh," right? And some people would, if you read some commentary about him, there are times he would get shit wrong. There are times when he would talk about the plot of a movie and get a significant detail wrong, which made people wonder, hey, was this guy sleeping through the film or just relying on press notes or something that somebody else told him? But we all make mistakes like that. Oh, this is the guy. This is the, he was a friend of the Daverhood, or is. This is coming to Frederick, Maryland, just so you know. Tom, limited engagement, just a friend of the Daverhood. I'm trying to remember his name. The legendary wit and irreverence of Tom Lehrer comes alive in Frederick, Maryland for a limited engagement at Frederick Magic Theater and Lounge. Tom Lehrer is alive and well and has given away all the rights to his music, which he did a couple of years before he died. It's not reminding me of his name. He was on the show just a couple of weeks ago. This is the guy, he does this show. Tom Lehrer is alive and well.
Somebody commented they saw it and liked it. That's why.
Oh, really? Good. Someone named Luke. Luke liked it. So I don't know when it is. It might be this week at the Landless, but it goes there occasionally. So if you missed it this one time, you can probably get it again soon. I saw this tonight. I thought it was fun. Well, as well it should be. But unfortunately, they're literally not. They're not reminding me who the damn guy is.
What do you want me to find?
The name of the fellow who does that show, and I apologize because he was just in the Daverhood like a month or two ago.
Multiple overview.
Let me see if I can find it on here. Andrew Lloyd Bachman. Andrew Lloyd Bachman.
Andrew Lloyd,
Yeah, so so congratulations to him. It's kind of cool that his thing is coming up again. Anyway, oh my God, it's 9:45 already in the Daverhood. You're watching Dave's Gone By, our 1032nd episode of the show. I don't know. It looks like I've got like red eyeshadow here. I just kind of scratched my eye or something.
Oh, you did? Are you bleeding? What did
No,
you do to yourself?
I probably just gave a scratch.
So
It's fine.
I think we were out in a lot of grass and a lot of trees, and I'm itchy, so you must have some allergy stuff too.
Yeah.
Do you feel it? Yeah.
No, I don't feel anything, but I see it. I'm looking at myself on the camera like,
Yeah,
woo.
it looks like, don't touch it. It looks like you. Are you wearing makeup?
No, I'm not making
one
You know me,
eye.
I will not wear makeup, so
Especially
no.
one eye, yeah.
But anywho, we're calling this episode Pomme de Terre in honor of our cabaret friend Craig Pomranz will be with us in a little while. Rabbi Sol will be interviewing him. Rabbi Sol will also be doing a rabbinical reflection about the passing of Abe Foxman of the Anti-Defamation League. Plus, we will have story time with more of Logan Pryce. We will have our Limerick about Colorado City, and we'll have Greeley Times. But before all of that, what do you think of this? What do you think of this story that came through this past week? A fellow, I'm going to need my glasses for this. And this will ease us into Greeley Times also. Anil Kochhar, who is the son of a notable North Carolina State alumnus, and who has some money, gave this year's commencement at North Carolina State. During the speech, he revealed something rather special. He said that he would pay off the final year of loans of all the students in the Wilson College of Textiles.
I mean, that's tremendous. Yeah. If you have a lot of money and people, I mean, and you're invited, I mean, that's, yeah, I think if someone told me that and I had like a student loan, I probably would pass out like on the floor.
I mean, we're cheering.
I mean, I would be like, first of all, I would think it's
and it's not a small class. There's 200 kids.
I would think it would be like a gimmick. I wouldn't think it's real. It's a joke. And then if I knew it was real, I probably would pass out.
Yeah, it was a commencement address. This was real.
I would fall on the ground. I wouldn't believe that somebody could be so generous. I probably would pass out.
And he got choked up at the ovation. If he'd given me money, I'd given him a great ovation.
What's the college?
In North Carolina State. North Carolina State.
North Carolina State College, tuition for 1 year. So if they're in state, it's about 10,000, 9,247. Out of state, 34,000. So if I don't know who's in state, out of state, but 10,000, that's a lot.
Multiply that by 200. Yeah.
With everything, housing, books, personal expenses, it comes to between 31 or 58,000. So
well, he's just doing the tuition.
So
that's
not
probably
10.
Yeah. So let's say 10 grand times 200 people. Yeah.
Or it could be 34 if they're out of state.
Ooh. Ooh. So, I mean, the only thing that bothers me about this is that...
Is he an alum?
Well, his father was a major alum, and I guess he was an alumnus too, and he did well, and his dad did well. But, this is so typical of the way things are that we have to rely on this mega generous charitable donor in order to not have kids graduating college with massive amounts of painful debt. It's kind of like we have to rely on everything to have museums open. We now, if we didn't have billionaires like Jeffrey Epstein funding things, where would the money come? We wouldn't. There'd be no taxes, or the taxes are high and they're just going to corrupt whatever. It bugs me that the only way people can get a break is from a handout. It's some great Bill Gates or who's the other guy, the Facebook guy, or someone like this Anil Kochhar is like, my God, the kids are graduating with $80,000 in debt, and let me take 15 grand away of that. They won't have to pay their last year. And everybody's like, well, thank you. That makes a very big difference. But why should it be that college costs $34,000 a semester or a year?
I don't know.
That's the thing that just grinds my gears, that people can't, the structure is no longer set up that we can get by on our own. We need magnanimous donors.
He wants to talk to you.
Who's that?
He wants to give his opinion on it.
All right.
That's his opinion.
Stinky Pig, what is your thought on the need?
Take him out. I opened the top.
All right.
Let him be free. He's never been free. He was sealed in there like a pig.
He's still actually, here he is. He's still in the, he hasn't literally been taken out. He's still in the plastic in this thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, even in here.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, there you go.
Here he goes.
Just save the, I have the sticky stuff too. Oh, look at his tongue. He's so cute.
He's very cute.
Let me see him.
Oh, and he's soft. There's a softish.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
Part
of him's hard. No. Stinky Pig. I'm going to use him for Greeley Times, actually. I think that's a very important thing. So, anywho, those are my. Do you have any other thoughts about that? About Anil, Kochhar, and
I'm looking for
magnanimity. What do you?
I think he'd be one.
Oh, where's the stretchy pig? Is somewhere in the other.
I'm looking for the goat.
The what?
The pig,
Oh,
it's the goat.
oh, the goat is here. I have the
So
shrieking goat.
Have him with the pig. It's like the little farm dude.
Yeah.
Right?
No, but you used to have that stretchy pig. I don't know where he is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Thank you, honey. Oh God.
By the way, if you want to know more about this
Somebody's
program.
Mad. Somebody's mad.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here he is. Here he
He's
is.
mad. He's mad.
Stretch that. Why is he mad?
Because he feels he's being replaced.
So we've had him for a year or two. This is the stretchy pig.
But I think he feels.
And they have similar faces too. Look at that.
But oh no, what you do with stretchy pig?
It's like,
What you doing? Oh God.
it's like, unk. I go with special pig school.
Looks
Yeah.
good here.
But for more information about this program, including our extensive broadcast archives, please visit davesgoneby.com.
Does he look like the other one now?
Now he doesn't, no, because now his face is all sort of pushed in. Oh, a little bit.
He's cute.
You're both very cute.
Yes.
There it is. So, davesgoneby.com.
Do you have your drum kit here?
Oh, wait, no, I don't have it. Thank you. davesgoneby.com tells you everything about the show, got pictures of the show, but most importantly, almost every single episode that we've ever done is saved there. Whether they're the original radio shows, whether they're when we started going on video about 8 years ago, all of it, barring one or two episodes that were lost to time, is there, listenable, available at your convenience for free.
Yeah.
davesgoneby.com. We also put our archives at archive.org. We have a channel there. We have our audio archives only at castbox.fm. So if you're out and about, you just want to listen to us as a podcast, castbox.fm. And, and more recently, much more recently, we finally started putting our episodes up on Spotify. And so far, so good. One or two episodes, Spotify is being Facebooky and YouTube-ish and complaining about copyright. And we keep telling them it's a radio show that was on a radio station or a college radio station. We had the rights to play these things, and now it's archival. And we actually beat them one time, and they made it, yep, we're not blocking this anymore. It's out there. So we have now hundreds and hundreds of episodes on Spotify. We hope to get all of them up there at some point. But really, we've gone back pretty far now. So every episode we've done on as a video show, every show we've done in Colorado is all there now. The real modern history of the show is up there. So now we just have to get the really early stuff on there too. But no matter where you find Dave's Gone By, please watch and please tell folks, hey, we've had amazing guests on the show. If you want to go watch and hear those interviews, they're there. The comedy skits we've done, sure. Rabbi Sol's Rabbinical Reflections, they're there. All of this plus entire episodes. We're talking thousands of hours of comedy or attempts at comedy or just playing whatever the hell this is. davesgoneby.com, archive.org, Spotify, and castbox.fm, not to mention some on YouTube as well. Well, it's a little before 10 o'clock Eastern Time in the Daverhood. I think it's time for some criminality. I think it's time that we go back to Colorado, beautiful Colorado, and their newspaper, the Greeley Tribune, for their weekly column based on phone calls that come in to the police department from people complaining about or afraid of something going on. They call their column Cop Log. We call our segment Greeley Times because it's the best of what's happening in Greeley. So, just waiting. Can you man the phone?
I'm sorry.
I'm waiting for a phone call. I'm expecting, it was kind of quiet for a Saturday morning.
I don't know what happened to my
Usually the phone's ringing off the hook. Where's the bell? There's the bell. Oh, there it is. I'll get the goat phone.
Want your teeth phone?
I need my
Don't put it
glass.
near your eye.
It's looking better. Looking a little better.
Yeah, but it looks like you scratched it hard.
A caller complained. Now remember, they're calling the police department. A caller complained a customer who was in the drive-thru was, quote, completely nude.
Ooh, baby.
Now, how could they think about it?
You won't know.
Can't tell.
Who would know? Only the checkout people, the person who gives the bag would know because they look in the car to hand it.
Yeah, then maybe.
Oh, no, they have cameras. They probably have cameras.
Oh, my.
I would hope they have cameras because if someone...
But even then, how do you
maybe
see...
the cameras are like when you go to you go deliver the food, you're handing it down and the cameras
We'll look down at your...
Popa.
Well, let's just hope he can order a hot dog. But ladies and gentlemen, do we have another... Oh, we have another call coming in. Here it is. Drum phone. Oh, hey, look. What part of my body is this, hon?
Eardrum.
Yes! A caller said...
Wait. I gotta find my thing. Okay.
A caller said... that a man was driving around the neighborhood and yelling about Jesus.
I think that's it. That's probably evangelism.
Or actually, that's part of the driving tests in Alabama. You knew that. Yes. Either that, or it was Colorado. Maybe he was hollering about Jesus, who is the gardener who drives back and forth over the border. A caller? Wait, we have another caller.
Use your pig phone.
A caller reported a woman dancing in the middle of the street.
Ooh.
So, Potato's going to reenact it now.
David, maybe she's related to the man who had no clothes.
That could be. Wait, Potato wants to do a little dance. Here we go.
Look, he's got a friend.
Potato feels very embarrassed right now.
Oh, well,
Sorry, Potato.
He was in the moment here. Do this for him.
Whoa, careful. Oh, yeah, oh. A sad slow dance for Potato. Had a little too much of the high fructose corn syrup ketchup last night.
It's because we got him up early to go to the yard sale. They're not morning people. You know that. They're not morning people.
They're not. Oh my God. Hun, more than that. We have an alert. And guess what kind of alert it is?
Chicken?
No!
Groundhog?
No!
Oh, Fort Lupton?
Yes!
Oh, your favorite.
Lupton. Because Fort Lupton, I love saying it.
Oh, the origin, okay.
Fort Lupton is a town near Greeley, Colorado, also in northern Co. And I just love saying the word Lupton. Say it with Lupton. I don't get the same feeling when I do like Lipton tea. Yeah, Lipton. But Lupton. Lupton. So we delight when we get a story that comes out of Fort Lupton. Last week, by the way, this angers me though, that Greeley no longer does Potato Day, which was the most important holiday in Greeley or anywhere really in the world for me. They used to have every year, and I would go there. I would go there covered in potatoes. One year I helped out as a volunteer. Potato Day in Greeley, which was essentially taking one area around that big, like, sort of national parkish thing and turning it into, like, what was Greeley like 180 years ago? And when people churned their own butter and this and that. So they turned all these fields into instructional, fun things, hatchet throwing and whatever else. They've stopped doing that. Look what they're doing in Fort Lupton. Last week was the Heritage Fair
Oh, nice.
at the South Platte Valley Historic Park in Fort Lupton. The event offered a colorful glimpse via costumed reenactors
Oh, no.
of the town's past.
Those two words, costume reenactors.
But that's what they had at the Potato Festival. That was they've stolen Potato Day.
Remember the tortilla lady who was always angry?
Oh.
Make the tortillas in the place, and she was always like angry.
Yeah, because it was like 100 degrees, and she was making 750 attendees, primarily families with young children and seniors seeking shade, watched 1860s style baseball. I would have loved that.
Oh.
And and the Buffalo Soldiers doing their thing. So remember we used to watch, these are the Black Civil War soldier type people reenacting. Now they're over at Fort Lupton doing the thing at so-called Heritage. No! This is repurposed Potato Day without the potatoes.
But it's in Fort Lupton.
Okay, I get that. But Fort Lupton can have Potato Day if Greeley... It's not as if Fort Lupton is so far away they wouldn't have had potatoes there. Unbelievable. And later this year in Fort Lupton, they're going to have Colonial Days. I don't know how the hell that's different from Heritage Days. An October Pumpkin Festival.
Oh, wow.
And...
They're really sparsing up there. They must have some good tourism something, right?
Well, coming up
Yeah.
in September, Trapper Days, which will feature...
Oh, no. Trapper?
Trapping the Trapper John. Trapper Days featuring a tomato festival. Hun, we're going.
Oh, they're just copying completely.
I don't care if we both have classes. I don't care. We're going to Tomato Days
Okay.
in Fort Lupton, Colorado in September. It's not the same as Potato Days, but obviously potatoes love tomatoes because it's the pre-form of ketchup. Potato, what do you think? Do you want to go to Fort Lupton Tomato? Oh, God! Let's get on a plane right now. No, we can't get on a plane right now, Potato. All right, right tomorrow. All right, maybe right tomorrow. We can go. But anywho, that was our Lupton alert. By the way, we're doing Greeley Times here on Dave's Gone By. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my darling and amazing wife. You're watching live on this Saturday, May 16th, 2026. It's our 1032nd episode of the program. Coming up, we have cabaret singer Craig Pomranz talking with Rabbi Sol Solomon. We've got Rabbi Sol doing his rabbinical reflection on the passing of the ADL's Abraham Foxman. We will also have StoryTime with more of Logan, Pryce Makes a Mess. We'll have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we're going to Colorado City, Colorado. So lots and lots of reasons to stay tuned. So let's tune into our next phone call. Oh, I'll get that. Let me grab the poo phone. A group of teenagers were filming themselves fighting. Okay, typical TikTok, Instagram nonsense. Fine. 1 day later, a caller reported that a man just ran through his yard, and the man said he'd gotten into a fight at the park. So I don't know if these two things are connected, but, fight for fighting, and why did the fight last so long that a day later a guy was right? Anyway, all right, not that funny. Let's do another Greeley time, ladies and gentlemen. What? Oh, I'm like the FBI. I like to listen to the chatter. Well, the chatter phone says, a caller reported people fishing in a pond with nets. Well, they were the New Jersey nets, so he worried that they were lost. Okay, yeah, I think we need to move away from Greeley for the moment and get on to our elsewheres. So this is also part of the Greeley Times segment where there are ridiculous, crazy, odd, true news stories, not the fake stories that are published in the New York Times, but true news stories that are weird and zany and come from all over the place. For example, we go back to, this one is actually a Colorado one. This is Colorado Springs, as reported by the Greeley Tribune. And, okay, pull over. Authorities have suspended the license of the Academy School of Driving in Colorado Springs, and drivers who got, I think we did this one last week, but wait, I thought I crossed these out. Whoops, I did this one last week. Oh, I did that one last week. I did that one last week. Oh no. Yep, nope, did that one. What about this one? Yeah, okay, here we go. Now we're ready. Here's another elsewhere, my friends, or the first elsewhere of our show today. We go to Plant City, Florida. Plant City, Florida, as reported by CBS 12 and the Shepherd Express. Florida Highway Patrol stopped a truck as it drove along a state highway. The driver, excuse me, whom officers dubbed Rocket Man, had missiles mounted in the truck bed. Turned out they were plastic replicas for shows and events, and the driver was released with a gentle warning to transport his artillery in some other manner. Well, I think the cops handled that very well. In fact, they were the bomb.
You're absolutely right.
I know I am. Here's another story. Now we go far afield, far from Florida, far from the United States, all the way to Tokyo, Japan, for our next elsewhere, as reported actually by the New York Post. On March 31st, at Tokyo's Disney Sea amusement park, Rapunzel's forest took a Hitchcockian turn right out of the birds. An animatronic Rapunzel leaned out of her tower window to sing. That's when two black ravens started pecking at her head and ripping out her strands of hair. Being a robot, Rapunzel had no idea about the birds ravaging her luxurious locks, so she kept on singing and smiling. Think about how horrible this image would be to children watching this. Park officials removed her for repair.
What is this?
But not before several onlookers said they thought the birds were animatronic too. So there's an interesting. This was in Disney, in Tokyo, Disney's Disney Sea amusement park, and I guess Rapunzel's she's going to need Rogaine, but it would be animatronic Rogaine. So they have robots, rubbing it into her head. We have another elsewhere, ladies and gentlemen. Bowling Green, excuse me, Bowling Green, Kentucky, as reported by the Shepherd Express. On March 26th, a police officer conducted a traffic stop when he noticed a man partially slumped over, yet still moving. The cops stopped the guy, arrested the guy because he reeked of alcohol and was slurring his words. But here's the kicker. He wasn't in a car. The dude was on a horse.
Whoa.
Galloping through the neighborhood with a liquor store bag tied to the saddle. So you got to be careful with horsepower, no matter how.
Wow.
Yeah. The judge asked the horse, was the guy drunk? And the horse went, nay. No. Anywho, true stories, true things happening in Greeley, Colorado, and elsewhere. We're still in the elsewhere portion here. We go all the way to Rostov-on-Don, Russia.
Wow.
As reported by Medusa.io. This is good. And there's actually video of this. During a circus performance, after a protective net collapsed,
Oh no.
a tiger decided to leave the stage and jump into the audience.
What happened?
Well, the animal walked among spectators for some time.
Did it bite people?
And nope, staff got on the PA and just asked the crowd to remain calm.
Like not just stay still.
Yeah, don't anger the
guess
tiger.
Was he tame?
Well, I mean, it is part of a circus act, so he's used to, generally.
Maybe not, yeah.
The tiger was then led outside, where trainers guided it to a special container. No spectators or staff were injured.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, think about that. Think about what happened to Siegfried and Roy.
I mean, this is a circus, and it's hard with children to keep them still, and
And it's not going to be Barnum and Bailey. This isn't some poop hole town in Russia.
Yeah.
They say, it's special circus. We feed the tiger cat food. He's fine, right?
We feed the tiger the audience.
Well, the Dolgalyuk Dynasty Circus is facing criminal negligence charges because bad things could have happened. It's almost as bad as the time the Rostov Children's Theater was playing and the Ukrainian got hold of the light board. So that got really, really difficult, as Woody Allen would say. Anywho, let's go move away from Russia.
You said that, look who's on your thing.
There's the picture of Woody Allen on my feed, just at that very, very moment. I guess the idea of Woody Allen boffing Anne Margaret at that time was so comical. And meanwhile, he goes on to date Charlotte Rampling and Mia Farrow and Diane Keaton, so
I believe
joke's on him.
He dated her.
Oh my, who this?
He dated her as well.
Oh. Well, who doesn't love a little bit of Svetlana Miluja-Kaika and her great album, I can't tell if... So I guess the artist is Svetlana Miluja-Kaika, and the song is Jojo Parodici, or not.
I think she was there when the tiger was released.
I think that's Benny Hill in a full swig and boobies. I don't know. I don't even know. Anywho, we're doing Elsewhere as part of our Greeley Times segment, where we move to Appleton, Wisconsin, reported by the Independent here. The Outagamie County Recycling and Solid Waste Facility in Appleton, Wisconsin, which is, by the way, 100 miles north of Milwaukee. They've changed its speed limit on the facility's roads and also on its signs. What do you think the speed limit sign reads?
I can't drive 65.
Yeah, much lower than 65. But they're splitting hairs here. The speed limit of the county is, or within this part of the county, 17.3 miles per hour.
How do you measure that?
Well, here's the deal. It makes drivers pause. The idea is people may not notice speed limit signs anymore. So if you add that weird little decimal point, people are more likely to 0.3, and just in noticing that and doing this, all right, let me slow down to 17. Because officials say people go on autopilot when they're on familiar routes. So this is just a reminder to slow down and stay aware. But note that drivers going 17.4 miles per hour will be shot.
Whoa.
So they are pretty strict over there about speed limits. What? We want to go back to another place, another kind of southerly place here. Let's go to Virginia. And a report here from the New York Post. Well, at least it wasn't another shooting. We go to Virginia Tech, where a spring football game was delayed after a parachuter crashed into the scoreboard.
Whoa.
Just before the game, 2 parachuters could be seen gliding over the field.
What were they doing?
Well, they were just doing their stupid thing. First one flew safely over, but the second one crashed into the board between the C and the H in Tech. No one was hospitalized, and the final score was a tie. Idiots won, bulletin board won. So, yeah, it's Virginia Tech. And then one more Elsewhere, and then we'll get back to Greeley Times and get on with the rest of the show. This is from Yahoo News. And our old stomping ground, New York City. Let me get the stretchy pig phone. Here we go. On May 1st, a pop-up bookless bookstore opened on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. The store sells only audiobooks. So you can go into this pop-up store, browse tablets, which are called story tiles, and listen to excerpts through headphones. And there's even a room with speakers for those who prefer more ambient sound and don't want to use headphones. A press release promises that readers can pull up to the listening bar and be guided by story tenders.
Oh, I love that.
To find tales that match their interests and preferences. I would go off on a rant about the death of the book, but I'm listening to audiobooks all the time now in the car. So I would go. I would go look at a story tile.
You could be a storyteller.
I could. A teller of tales. Well, this one has a tail right there. That was the longest one yet.
Wasn't that 3.5
That took up the whole show right there.
Oh.
Let's get back to Greeley, Colorado for more Greeley Times. One or two more of these. Let's see. A caller. Let's, from Shaker Heights. A caller said that a man asked him for a cigarette and then pushed the caller after he said he didn't smoke.
Maybe he's some kind of like a Carrie Hatchet, but for cigarettes.
I know, right? I've heard of a drug pusher, but this is ridiculous. Yeah. And finally, one more. A caller said that his girlfriend was, quote, going crazy and breaking into a car. That's the problem with these things. There's no follow-up. That wasn't that funny. I'll do another one. What would you do? Someone accidentally locked themselves out of their house. Would you call the cops? I guess just...
Yeah, because if not, imagine you're trying to get in your house, people might think you're breaking in.
Yeah.
And then they might be, at least the cops are there, they know it's real.
And can they either get you through a window
or maybe open a window, but I would, I would probably call somebody who had my key.
Well, that too. Yeah, if you give someone, if you're, yeah. Anyway, we have unlocked the secrets, the magic of Greeley, Colorado this week for our segment, Greeley Times. We thank, by the way, Andrea Grajeda, who does that column now for the Greeley Tribune, putting all those things together. So that, as we say, is Greeley Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi!
Yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Greeley Times, but there's so much more to do on this very episode of the Dave's Gone By Show, our 1032nd here on this May 16th, 2026. So, coming up, Colorado Limerick, where we go to Colorado City, also story time with more of Logan Pryce, and more fun surprises for you. But let's get to our guest of the week. He is a cabaret performer and a veteran cabaret. He started in cabaret, then went into, a career life and doing other things, but then came back to it. He was a studio musician for a long time, studio singer, and now he's back singing and doing what he loves. He'll be at Don't Tell Mama this Tuesday with his latest show, Love is a Necessary Evil. He's going to be talking to the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon. So, and we'll be seeing him later, of course, too, with a rabbinical reflection. But right now, Rabbi Sol is going to be talking to, actually, I need to share my screen first. Hold on. Let me do that if I can. Share, and share alike. Let's get rid of our Zoom thing. Let's get rid of that thing. Let's get rid of that thing. And then let's open this up. So, here we go. It's, come on, Rabbi Sol and Craig Pomranz on Dave's Gone By. Oh, shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies, too. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And they say there's a phrase, love is a necessary evil. Well, we have so many unnecessary evils in this world. It's kind of nice that there's a necessary one. And to tell us about that, and also his long career in cabaret and music, is this guest that we have in the Daverhood. His name is Craig Pomranz. He's appeared at the Duplex, Freddie's Supper Club. Remember that place? Regine's little mini Regine's that she had back when she was regining. He was also a studio singer for lots of different Broadway shows. and a dancer even in commercials. So many things to talk about. This man, most importantly, Craig Pomranz, was born and raised Orthodox Jewish. So we have a lot to talk about with Craig Pomranz, our guest in the Daverhood. Shalom to you, Craig.
Shalom, shalom.
So let me ask you, how does a Jew wind up with the name Craig?
That is a real, because it's very Scottish, although there are Scottish Jews. I have no idea. And I absolutely don't. And I'm sure I asked my mother, and I was the only Craig that I knew.
Oh, I'm sure.
Growing up. I mean, there was like one other, and he was Catholic. But, these things happen.
And was Pomranz like your Ellis Island thing, or was it Pomranz?
We are the only Pomranzers. No E. No, the very first review I had in the New York Post was Pomranz, no E or T. We're the only Pomranzers spelled that way. If there's a Pomranz spelled that way, it is either my nephew or my niece or a brother.
So let me ask you, and I wasn't kidding, you actually you weren't Haredi, or were you? You weren't a chassid, you were modern Orthodox, or what?
No, we were raised in an Orthodox synagogue, and my grandfather was a lay cantor at the Orthodox synagogue called Nisachari, B'nai Zion in St. Louis. It was a very liberal Orthodox. We had the youngest, a most wonderful rabbi, Aaron Burrow. He was really wonderful, and probably because at that time he was so liberal and progressive for an Orthodox thing. So it was really I still walked, as I tell all of my godchildren, I walked 4 miles in the rain in my to shul, but it was.
I won't even walk 4 blocks to shul. I'll just Uber it. But let me ask: was having and you should pardon the expression, lay cantor in the family, was that the first inkling that you wanted to get up there and have people watch you sing, or was that disconnected from career choices?
Well, the irony is, my grandfather had no voice. He could not carry a tune. That was the irony, right? But the thing about Jewish music is it's all about the words and all about how you interpret it and whatever. So, but no, I mean, everyone did. My bar mitzvah was like, it seemed like a month. And like I had so many, because I could sing, I had so many Haftorah readings and all of that kind of thing. And I did, in fact, I did love it. And the actual cantor, I won't mention his name, but the actual cantor, as I was walking around with the Torah, he kept saying to me, well, what? This is a serious occasion. Why are you smiling? And I was like, it's my bar mitzvah.
I'm going to be getting so much money and so many gold pins in an hour or two from now. Of course I'm smiling. What's the matter with you? Okay, a couple of Israel bonds that I can't spend on myself. God damn it. No, I'm not smiling about those, but everything else. Come on. And there's cake. There's going to be a Viennese table and cake. Of course there's
we couldn't afford cake. But
So, all right, yeah, that rabbi sounds a little schmucky, but it's nice that you had growing up, because when we think, you were raised Orthodox, and I assume you no longer are.
No.
So why did
I keep as many traditions as I can, but I don't know.
But that's the thing. You had, unlike a lot of people who are raised Orthodox and they feel very suffocated and constricted, and I'm this and I don't accept that. You had, sounds like, a rather lovely religious Orthodox upbringing. Why didn't you go straight through? Why did you break into something more conservative?
Well, I think that my mom's side was much more Orthodox. My dad was not very Orthodox, so I think that had a big part of it. And I think also because of the progressiveness of the synagogue, but that maybe they don't want to know this, but what he had instilled in me, and maybe he didn't want to, but this is what happened, was he was always talking about how nothing is literal in the Torah, how everything is interpretive, everything is a guideline, everything is a way to sort of look towards the positive or towards what's, and how to relate it to your current life. And I might have taken that a little more to extreme than he wanted. But I think that has a lot to do with it. But I know no matter what other people think, I really appreciate that, because I wish I were, I think I wish I were a little more religious, actually, because it growing up, it had such an impact on me, that kind of, well, especially in the world we live in now. It's like nice to have that sort of center of gravity of like, something, there's a tradition here and there's a reason and there's a way of being. And So yeah, now I'm
Yeah,
getting
no,
serious.
I take some.
It's hard to get serious when you're in Seattle. I'm sorry.
I take some pride in the fact of being somewhat liberal on certain things and the interpretations of the Torah. I teach in my my classes that even Noah's Ark is actually a strip mall in Minneapolis. In modern day Minneapolis, and just picked up, left it off 5,000 years ago, and not everybody believes this, but I'm saying, oh, you're being too literal. See, there you go. Now, yeah.
Someone has to prove you wrong, right? I mean,
And, well, that is the essence of Judaism, proving everybody else wrong. The Jesus thing? No! Yeah, that guy, Jewish kid. Very, very mixed up, and oh, what a troublemaker. But you are not a troublemaker. You seem like you were you a good kid, a good student, you know?
No, I was a really good kid. I wouldn't say I was a good student, but I was a really good kid. I was a really good.
So you went to college, or did you? You
Yeah,
eventually
yeah.
straightened up and flew, you know,
Well,
intellectual degree.
I started working professionally when I was like, 12, 13. I did my first union show at the St. Louis Muni Opera, which is the largest outdoor theater in the country.
Wait, now that you're mentioning that, your co-stars in that show at the Muni Opera were none other than...
John Cullum was
Right.
Arthur, and Sally Ann Howes was Guinevere, and she was. They were both remarkable, and they were both really, really wonderful. And oddly, well, not oddly, but they tried to get my parents to take me to New York because they were replacing the young Patrick and Mame on Broadway. And so they thought they were so wonderful to me, and they just thought, well, he should be in New York. And my parents were like, I don't think so. And believe me, I begged to go to New York.
And eventually you made it to... This is the thing. When was that decision of like, if I'm going to make it here, I can make it anywhere, but I better make it there. When did you say, I can't stay in St. Louis, I'm going to Nueva York?
I just think it was always something on my mind. I grew up with all those movies, and whether it was Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney, or whether it was, Leslie Caron, who I'm going to meet in June, I hope. I'm excited about Leslie Caron. When I'm in London. It just, where do you go to make, and it was, I'll make a sentence in a second. I think that my parents, they believed in me and loved me and loved that I had this talent as they saw it, but they really, in St. Louis, they were just like, how are you going to make a living that way? I mean, they really didn't understand that. I started bringing in money to the family when I was, 12 and 13. So, then it was like, even in St. Louis, you're not going to make a living this way necessarily. Obviously, people can and people do, which is a wonderful thing. You can make a living in the arts wherever you live. You just have to figure out how to do it.
And you have to eat spaghetti, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, basically. Yeah. And even the Chef Boyardee, which you get free from a tin in the place where they give poor people free food. But then you can make a living.
Yeah.
Well, you have.
So eventually, I just knew that I would have to do that. They were the ones who wanted me to go to. I got a scholarship to Carnegie Mellon, and because all these places in the Goodman, which is where I went, it's like they couldn't afford anything. So a lot of it was me sort of navigating all of that. It's not a bad thing. It's just sort of.
So were you at the Goodman Theater in Chicago for a bit? Was that?
Yeah, in the theater, the school.
Oh, okay. So what's something that you learned from there? Because this way, Chicago, there's a style of theater in Chicago, certainly 40 years ago, that was very, very, I wouldn't associate necessarily with you or Orthodox Jews, but it was, the Steppenwolf, the Goodman, they were fighting each other, screaming, throwing blood and phlegm around the stage. What was it actually like in the Goodman Theater School?
I was oblivious to all of that. I was a young person focusing on how am I going to learn more and do better. I mean, it really, that's all it was. But I will say they were very, some of the teachers were extremely intense. And it's interesting how they, you do an improv class and they just push you to a limit. And at some point, even at my age, I was like, you don't really have to go to this limit. I was in a class where I was in this improv, I was strangling somebody, and they were like, harder, harder, you gotta put it. And I was like, something? I'm not here to hurt somebody, and they really wanted me to like tie the new, it's interesting,
Yeah, and again, that was the Chicago theater of the time, but
That intensity.
yeah, you don't have to be John Malkovich to be John Malkovich, if you know what I'm saying. I have no idea what I'm saying. But see, you come to New York, but weren't you mostly in New York at that period more concentrated on dance than anything else?
I got to New York because of Jose Limon, which was a modern dance company.
Yeah.
So that's, I badly, I took that opportunity to get to New York. And I would hang out in piano bars and someone, this guy named Ted Hooks, who was a master had many clubs, and anyway, he was quite something. And he said to me, someone canceled 2 weeks from now, someone canceled an engagement at my club. Do you have a nightclub act, and would you like to sing? And I was like, of course, even though I didn't have a nightclub act or anything like that. Then I had to like run and gather people together and put something
First
together.
you say yes, then you learn to ride the horse. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Can you roller skate? Can I roller skate?
And you say it in just that Jewish way.
I
Like,
hope
can
so.
I roll? And then you close the door like, no, I can't. I'm screwed. But so this is so the club engagement though was singing. And what songs? Do you remember what songs you did in that first club thing that you got?
Someone told me the other day what's wonderful about cabaret is that people get to know who you are and know you forever, and some people just keep coming back. And recently, someone said to me, "Do you remember the first thing you said the first time you ever did a cabaret act at Ted Hooks on stage?" And I said, vaguely. And I said, why? And he said, because he said, you can't do it now. And I said, what do you mean? He said, you came out and you said, my name is Craig Pomranz, and I am I'm an international terrorist. And it got a huge laugh at the time, but I'm not so sure that would work today.
Yeah. Not that there wasn't terrorism back then and it was an inappropriate statement, but somehow inappropriate was cute back then.
It was cute.
Now it's not so much.
But to say people were more sensitive now is.
No, but I did ask you, remember a song that you sang, like one of the choices of songs that you knew immediately, I better do this one.
Well, at the time, I'm trying to remember whatever show was happening at the time was sort of, I sang, Home from the Wiz, for instance, that kind of thing, to talk about how New York was my home kind of thing.
Now, also want to add, well, actually, before we forget, in terms of singing and cabaret stuff, one of the reasons we're talking to you this particular week, even though he'd be fun to talk to any week, is that Craig Pomranz is doing his latest cabaret show, and we open with this, Love is a Necessary Evil, and this is happening at Don't Tell Mama, but you do tell Mama, you want to see this, it's this Tuesday, May 19th at 7 p.m. and Don't Tell Mama is very easy. It's right in Midtown, West 46th Street between like 8th and 9th Avenue. Get your tickets at don'ttellmamanyc.com, or you can also go to Craig's website, CraigPomranz. I'll spell it because, as you say, no E, no T. CraigPomranz.com. But so instead of asking about the songs you sang way back then, tell us about the songs in this Love is a Necessary Evil show.
I want to know why this is happening now, because, I was commissioned to do a Jewish show. And I couldn't, what we were saying earlier, I couldn't find a club that could accommodate the time, because we couldn't do the show before synagogue was over, because it was a Jewish organization, and we had to do it, and it couldn't be too late. So we ended up at 8:30 is a good time, but none of the clubs except Don't Tell Mama was willing to accommodate me. I ended up doing that show, sold out that show 14 times. I've never done one show for that long. I usually do 4 different shows a year. So, that's what brought me back to Don't Tell Mamas as a place to go. I used to, Pangea was my sort of home base, which I'm still a wonderful, wonderful club. But so now that's why I'm at Don't Tell Mamas at 7 o'clock, as you say, coming up next week.
On Tuesday, right. So what was the Jewish show
It was all, they were all, well, that was the joke, right? They're all, it's all kosher. Because all the composers were Jewish, right? So
Pretty much. Basically, except Meredith Willson. They were all of them. Even, yeah. So it was basically Broadway shows. Let me think about Broadway show tune. Was it? Of course, it was written by a Jew, and you just did it. Yeah.
But it wasn't Broadway. It was everything. It wasn't just Broadway show tunes. It wasn't Broadway.
Oh, so does your general repertoire include what? Pop songs of the 50s,
Absolutely.
60s? Oh, sorry?
I sing Bob Dylan.
What song? What Dylan
I sing
song?
Whatever. Forever Young is a very big song that everyone loved. Well, if I can say that I'm known for something, I'm known for reinterpreting pop songs. You know, like I do. You know, I take sometimes I do a really interesting arrangement of Downtown in this particular show.
Oh, I love that song.
And I do, so I mix and match, and I do a whole arc, and I do a little Sondheim, but I do a little Gershwin, but I do Bob Dylan. I do, someone wrote me the other day and said, "Oh, you have to sing this Grateful Dead tune." You know, it's like people send me
Which Grateful Dead? I'm just which one?
Too many. I can't remember. But I do Simon and Garfunkel. So.
So what song?
He didn't change his name. That was the whole thing. All these people, they changed their names. It's like Garfunkel. What can you do with Garfunkel?
Well, not much. Garf.
Different time.
The world according to Garf. But let me ask Craig Pomranz, though. So is there a theme to Love is a Necessary Evil? Are they all love songs or twisted love songs? What does your hour, 70 or 60 minutes something have a theme?
That love is important no matter where it comes from. And we go through that little journey of you fall in love, you break up, you get mad, you get angry, you realize it's nobody's fault, but you realize the experience of it is still what's important, and opening yourself up to the availability and understanding that it's still possible, and that love it's life, I mean, you need that connection, that engagement with other people.
So let me ask you, and not to get too personal, but let's get too personal.
Right.
How's that love connection for you? Are you in a couplehood? Were you? What was your situation?
I've been partnered since high school.
Same person?
Mm-hmm. I guess more university. I mean, we met in high school, but it was...
Wait. Somebody, is there a ring on it?
No.
Wow. Why are you choosing now that you can? Yeah.
It wasn't a thought at the time. It just wasn't. It wasn't a possibility or a thought or even it just didn't occur. And then so that's really why. I mean, no particular. I mean, it's funny. It is something you always sort of want to do, but then you sort of feel like, I travel the world. I'm doing these things. You're doing these things. We're all. I mean, the love is there. Listen. It's. I say that, but it's what, high school, so it's only been 20 years. Oh, you laugh, don't you? I'm just kidding. No, I mean, it's obviously. I don't know if it's an anomaly. What I do know is that we feel the same way, and that same passion and that same laughter, and which is a big part of it, is just the communication and the laughter, knowing who you live with. And believe me, I give advice all the time.
Well, because people are going to come to you and say, how long you've been? Oh, you've been in the relationship this? Please. My last relationship was 4 months. My last was 2 years. This. It was on Bumble. It was Tinder. It was this. What's your secret? And you're supposed to laugh.
People give up very easily. People give up and they think there's something better in the next thing, and then they give up and they don't necessarily see what's right in front of them, and then they don't know who they live with. It really is. If you know who you live with, all of those faults and all the good, it's like you can surmount anything. You can discuss it. You can create something. You can make it better. And maybe that means, this isn't working. It's not making me happy or us happy. So why are we here? So I wrote a children's book. I don't know if you know that.
I was going to ask about, because there's someone named Rafi in it. And that's confusing because there's a very popular children's singer named Rafi. And I thought
I knew nothing about.
No.
Yeah, I knew nothing about it. So it's based on an incident that I had with my godson. And it's in 12 countries and 11 languages, or 8 languages, and it's being reprinted now with a Black illustrator, which I'm very excited about. But and Amanda McBroom and Michelle Browerman wrote a song for it. They read the book and they wrote a song for it. So that I recorded. It's really wonderful.
A song for, is there a music? The book will come with a song.
So whenever I did, no, it doesn't come with it, but whenever I would do a book tour, I would sing the song.
They wrote a song for the story. So, and the story, by the way, the book is called Made by Rafi, which you co-wrote with Margaret Chamberlain.
She was the illustrator, right?
Oh, she was the illustrator, but now we have a black illustrator. It's someone else, right?
Now, yeah, we're reprinting it with a black illustrator, so it'll be something else.
So, where did the idea? Well,
Why
of
was I
course,
talking about that? Because what we were talking about is because I love doing podcasts, and I do a lot of podcasts, and usually parenting podcasts, and we have this wonderful, serious discussions, and at some point, someone says, "How many children do you have?" And I have to say, "Well, none." It's like so they're like, "Oh," and I said, it's all common sense. Life is common sense, so.
if only everybody took what you just said as the truth. So here's another too personal question. Did you and your partner make the decision not to adopt at some point?
It was never a possibility. So it didn't, and nothing of those things entered our minds because it just wasn't a part of growing up.
Well, you didn't want to be a parent.
It's a totally different world now. It's a totally different world. Marriage, adoption, all of that stuff is a totally different thing, which is, wonderful. But it just wasn't a part of our growing up.
So, can I ask you, speaking of something that shows the person you are and the gender you are, sounds like one of the galvanizing moments, and yes, I'm cribbing this from your bio, your official bio, was watching Liza Minnelli do something on stage, and that shocked you.
There are too many moments, of life. I wrote an article about how Doris Day taught me to sing. I think she's one of the most perfect singers ever, with a beautiful voice and diction that's perfect, and she tells a story. She knows how to sing. But the Liza thing was because the Muni Opera, because I was working there as a kid, I got to go to all the shows, and she presented Liza with a Z, and she came down stage the first night, and she was sweating, and she I take my eyelashes off, she didn't have that accent, but she's talking, and she said, "You don't mind?" And she said, "I would never, Mama, this is Mama's, I would never do this song, but I'm in St. Louis, how can I not?" And then she would sing, "Meet Me in St. Louis" or something, which she would never do, or "Over the Rainbow," I can't remember exactly, and I just thought she's such a brilliant, really brilliant performer in every way. Just that excitement and the crispness and what she does. Anyway, I was thrilled, right? And so I went back the next night, and the next night I'm watching the show, and then she comes down stage and she says, oh, and she peels the eyelashes, and she's doing that, and she did the exact same thing, and it was totally fresh. And that was a real learning thing for me about how you can create that spontaneity, doing the same thing over and over again. And it was a real lesson, and I stand by it. It's like, if you're authentic in the moment, you can say the same thing over and over and over again, and it's real for that moment.
So what are you said there are so many, but I want to hear them. Like, who else besides Liza, whether you saw them at the Muni or maybe in a place in New York or elsewhere or Chicago, what other performers did you just sit there and go?
Well, when I was lucky enough when I was on a high school field trip to go to New York, and I snuck out after curfew, and I tell this in my show occasionally, and then I said, so it's can you imagine, it's like Times Square, midnight in Times Square, a healthy 16-year-old boy goes out into Times Square, and what does he do? He goes to a piano bar, it's like, which is like the pathetic part of my life, except that the first place I went to was a place where the great composer Murray Grand, who wrote Guess Who I Saw Today, as well as a lot of other things, but that's his big song, was playing piano. And sitting at the piano around it was Rex Reed, and he was with Gloria DeHaven, Mary Travers from Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Richard Rodney Bennett, Sir Richard Rodney Bennett, one of the greatest musicians on the planet at the time, and an Oscar winner and whatever. And I was sitting at the bar, and even though I was young, it's like I was mouthing the words to everything. And then they were like, "How do you know these songs and the verses?" Because I knew the verse. They played this game where they would play the verse, and then you would have to discover the rest of the song. And I knew them all, so they were like totally baffled by that. And then they had me sing, and then it was just like so when I actually moved to New York, I became friendly with all of those people. So, and what we miss in New York at the moment are those piano bars, those piano bars, those great players who just, you sit around the piano and they tell you stories and they sing songs that you don't know. I mean, a lot of the material that I do are songs that nobody knows. I mean, not a lot, but I put them in there because they're songs that people should know, and it's just great to remind us that it's a big world out there with a lot of music. So it's fun. It's fun. So.
No, I do want to interrupt because I also want to tell people that even if you can't get to see Craig Pomranz this Tuesday at Don't Tell Mama doing his show, he does have 2 CDs out that capture some, the songs that he's talking about. One CD is More Than a Seasonal Thing, songs connected to the seasons, and My Heart Don't Skip a Beat, which grammatically, I have some issues with the title, but still you can get these CDs, you can get a lot of this stuff at his website, CraigPomranz.com. And it's a way to connect with him. And also, you've got a couple of videos on YouTube. You have a channel there where you can see this man in action, as well as going to see him live this week. But let me ask you, sorry.
Wait. My Heart Don't Skip a Beat is the lyric in the song, just so you know.
I figured it would be, but still, that doesn't excuse it. Good grammar is good grammar, whether it's Bob Dylan writing it or George Gershwin writing it, excuse me, or Ira would be, but yes. Anywho, which brings me to my next question. I'm wondering if you're like all these other people who are head up about an article that came out in the New York Times about 2 weeks ago where they listed the so-called 30 greatest American living songwriters. Did you see it? Did you read it? Or you
I didn't see that article, but I do have a comment about the New York Times. I was really pissed at them, and I wrote them, as we all are probably recently. But I wrote to my friend who was the theater critic at the Times, and
Ben Brantley or
no, Jesse Green.
Oh, I know. Yes, I know. Yes.
So I wrote, and I said, "What do you think? I think I want to." And he said, "Yeah, they'll never print this letter because they put out that seasonal thing where they do, the whole arts and leisure section. This is the season that's happening, and they have pages on the movies that are coming up and on the theater that's coming up. There was not one music venue." Not one. And what I wrote to them was, something, the economic part of cabaret and music venues in this city is so huge, and to ignore that is it's just really unbelievable to me. I mean, we're talking about just not employing the performers, but we're talking about, restaurants and servers and all these people. And there's not one mention of any, they didn't even mention, and I'm talking about the small clubs, but they didn't even mention the Carlisle or 54 Below. They just didn't mention any of them. So it was really appalling to me. So
did they print your letter, or did they post it somewhere? No. It was so you mentioned that one thing that New York is missing that they used to have was these very chummy piano bars where people sing around and learn. What else? How else is cabaret different now in 2026? Particularly in New York, you do it all over the place. But than it was when you were first doing clubs like Freddy's and Regine's and places like that.
Well, I think that it's become a tad more formulaic. So that you get, when I teach a lot of master classes, and when I teach, I'm always like, 1 million people have beautiful instruments, 1 million people sound good, and that doesn't mean they know how to sing. But we have to learn, I guess, how to embrace the new generations of people who have grown up with these TV programs like The Voice and all those other things, where they think that vocal pyrotechnics is what makes emotion and what connects you to an audience. And the other side of it, another article that I wrote recently was cabaret versus concerts. There's a very big difference. Most people have never experienced someone singing 5 feet in front of them. They're used to like these huge venues and looking on a screen and seeing a little dot on the corner. And that's how they learn how to enjoy music. That's why when you go to even the Broadway theater now, they're screaming in the middle of the show. And I'm like, let them do something. You apply before, right now you're applying the standing up, and it's also probably the cost. They figure I paid this much, I should stand. But it's an interesting thing to me. So it's a little form. There are a lot more clubs than there used to be. That's the good thing. A lot of clubs closed, but you now have Green Room 42, I think it's called, and you have Chelsea Table on Stage, and you've got Pangea, and you've got, so there are clubs, Don't Tell Mamas, of course, and
Birdland. Yeah, right.
And Birdland. It's a lot, but it seems a lot less sort of intimate in a way that I like, and that's just, it's all very subjective, right? I mean, this is what I like. You get a lot of people, performing,
And it's interesting, you also mentioned those competition TV programs that teaching people, say like this in a mouth and do this and that. But you, in terms of a competition sort of thing, I am curious about this. You were a model at an early stage of your career. You were a Ford. No, it's not that. I mean, a good-looking fella, you know this, for a Jew at least. But there were pictures on your website of you as it says the Ford years. You were a Ford model. So when you see, or I assume you watch the America's Next Top Model and those kind, you don't even look at them. You don't even.
I don't watch those shows. I don't really watch. Yeah, I don't watch it. Yeah.
No, oh, okay, cool. So, but was there anything that you learned in your years of posing and that you carried with you?
Well, I'll tell you. Can we come up with a little serious conversation here? And that is that when the Me Too movement came out, I was like, I understood where it's coming from, obviously what it's about, who it's about, and I wasn't trying to, what's the word, when you try and take it over?
Co-opt, maybe.
Co-opt it. I wasn't trying to co-opt it, but nobody ever talked about what men go through, right? So when you're bringing up the modeling, I was modeling for Hired to Model, some clothing, and it was wonderful, and the clothes were great and things. And this photographer, very famous photographer, he kept saying, we should continue. Let's just continue. So he said, why don't you take off your shirt and whatever. To the point where he got me completely naked and took photographs of me, of which a lot of people are saying, where are those? But I'm laughing.
He didn't touch you. It was still just.
I'm laughing about it. He didn't touch me, but he took the pictures. But he didn't touch me, and yet afterwards I felt really odd. Like, well, how did that happen? And why did that happen? And how did I allow that to happen? And how did he manipulate all this stuff that one goes through? Let's talk about it.
Now, do you want to mention this photographer by name? Because it's interesting that you don't. It's interesting that this person put you in this mental situation, did something that he sort of had consent to do, but sort of not, and you were a grown person at this point. But at the same time, you're not going to...
I was still a teenager. Wasn't I? I was still, I guess I was 20. That's
an adult. But you don't, at the same time, you don't want to call him out by name.
No.
Why?
He's passed away. It doesn't matter.
Even more the reason to just say who it was.
And also there's an element of, and this is probably wrong, so you're probably right that I should, but it's sort of there's an element of like the nature of the business. It's like part of what I think people are navigating now is that, and this is not just true in show business. This is true in life. Everything that works in business or whatever, it's all about flirtation. It's all about, like me, do you want to work with me in whatever way that could be? So, I think there's an element of how much did I make it happen?
Wow.
The weirdest thing, I don't know, but it's complicated because one of the oddest things about it was that I'm an extremely modest person about my body. So for me to allow that to happen, there's some other motive there.
If you're talking about modesty, even my wife has not seen my nipples in 3 years. I'm just like, no, not happening. No, I have 5 taluses. I put one over the other just in case I lose 4.
When it's cold, how do you hide them?
Well, the talus just goes like, boing! I don't even know what I'm saying. We're talking with Craig Pomranz here in the Daverhood. Have just a couple more minutes with the delightful fellow whom you can see at Don't Tell Mama this Tuesday night at 7 doing his show, Love is a Necessary Evil, which Amazingly enough, we've talked about music, talked about all these songwriters and things. I don't think you have yet said one actual name of a song that is in Tuesday's show.
Well, Blossom Dearie was a friend of mine, which was not easy if you knew Blossom Dearie. And I used to sing, she always sang the early shows at 6 o'clock, and I would sing the later show after her. And she has a song called Love is a Necessary Evil. So that's one of the songs.
That's one, you're right, you did mention sort of.
But I know, and I sing, I'm trying to think of the diverse thing. I sing Richard Maltby, Maltby and Shire, who just had their last part of their review that they do, just was at this here anyway. Just went on.
Broadway.
Just goes off Broadway. Right.
Yeah.
He has a song that I grew up with, Starting Here, Starting Now. It was a huge thing, right? So Richard and I are actually good friends, and he has a song, I Don't Remember Christmas, which I do that song. And I
you wouldn't remember Christmas. We started the conversation with this, why you would not remember Christmas.
Well, you're all inclusive, right? So, but I'm trying, and I sing My Romance, one of the great songs. So, a lot of songs. And I sing a song by Carol Hall. It's an adorable song called It's Only a Broken Heart. So that's, so it's a funny song.
Now, speaking of being brokenhearted, and here I sit, let me ask you, Craig Pomranz, and then we're bringing this sort of full circle.
Sure.
What aspects of Judaism do you still bring to either your career and or your daily life? Because you say you're still, you're certainly not Orthodox or religious, but, so where does the J fit in?
Well, let me put it this way. I make my own matzah for Passover. I have my own Haggadah that I put together that I really love, that contains poetry, and it contains a story from Ruth Reichel. I don't know if the great food critic. She wrote a wonderful story about her first Passover called The Night in Charleston, I think is what it's called. That's part of my Haggadah. And we do the Hebrew. And more importantly, we finish the whole Haggadah.
No! You don't get into horrible arguments for 3 hours like they do at my house?
Well, not that. It's just usually people are like, enough already.
Yeah, after the meal. It's
No, I'm like, all right, I ring a bell and I say, this is it. We're finishing the Haggadah.
And the last is 20 minutes, by the way, from the meal to Chad. It's like boom, 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 and still nobody wants to do. But good for you and for your partner too. By the way, how many people do you have? A big thing, or do you just keep it intimate?
This year was 18.
The perfect Jewish number. Oh my God! If I could kvel any more, it would hurt me. It would actually physically hurt me to kvel more than I am right now. Good for you. So, but you don't celebrate. You don't keep the Shabbos. This is fine. Or how often do you go to shul?
Not often enough. I mean, we do we go to the convention center. They have this huge. Oh my God, B'nai Simchat Torah, I think is what the congregation is. Because it's so large, they do it at the convention center, and we donate money to them and again go there for the high holidays. That's the most important thing. And then if someone invites me to Shabbos dinner, if I'm available, I'll go. I mean, I travel a lot, but so it's good.
Oh, it is good. It is good to be talking to Craig. By the way, what's your Hebrew name? Because
Yechiel Feivel.
Wait. Something Feivel, what?
Yechiel Feivel.
Yechiel Feivel. So first name, middle name. Yechiel is your first name. Feivel, which is Philip, which is the host of this program, his late father's Hebrew name. So it's even more. It's even bigger.
Can I say one more thing? So my family is the oldest existing Jewish family organization in America called the Cantor Society, the Israel Cantor Society.
When your family is the Israel?
My father's side of the family, his name was, I don't know where Pomranz came from, but the other Cantors, but the Kantrowitz. So again, what's funny is, the beginning, the earliest great whomever, his name was Feivel Yechiel. So nobody remembered this, but when my parents named me, they named me Yechiel Feivel, not knowing that was my great.
It's,
I love
You know
that.
what,
I love
that's a
that
miracle.
simplicity.
yes, it is. So,
If only he could sing. That's
even going to Cantor who couldn't, that still boggles my mind. It's like, yes, Goddammit, yes, Goddashmega. I would not want to. I would just sit back.
You kind of sound like him, yeah.
But if you want to hear good sounding singing and music, then folks, you have to go on Tuesday night to Don't Tell Mama the Club to see Craig Pomranz with his show Love is a Necessary Evil. Get your tickets. Don'tTellMamaNYC.com is their website. To learn more about Craig, it's Craig Pomranz, POMRANZ.com. Craig Pomranz.com. Also get his book, Made by Rafi. Get his CDs, More Than a Seasonal Thing, and of course, My Heart Don't Skip a Beat. I have one more question before we sadly let you go. And it goes back to the dance thing, because one of the other things that you say in your biography is that in the early stages of career, when you weren't taking off your clothes to model, you were putting on ridiculous things to dance in TV commercials. You were
yes.
Please, you were a Pringles can, a Barbasol shaving thing.
So they call me in. They call all these dancers in for this commercial for Brute for Fabergé, which was with Joe Namath. And so he was like the spokesperson, and he was going to stand there, and we were all disco dancers. Like, we were going to wear white suits and disco dance and stuff like that. And so they called us all in, a lot of dancers. And then they narrowed it down to 6 of us. And we go in for the call, for the actual, and they say, we changed the whole idea. And I said, and we were like, okay, fine. And they said, get into this. And they gave us cans of deodorant, where you could see like our hands and our feet, and we were like, and you want, and then my favorite thing was like, we'll choreograph you, and I'm like, choreograph what exactly? Like, so I think I was a can of Brute. I'm not sure. And then there were 3 others like Tussie or like different deodorants that people have. But it was like, but we did postcards and pictures. I mean, it held me instead for a long time, because they're all over the counters and the pharmacies and stuff like that, and the department stores. And my mom was like, "Oh, those are his feet." But, what was really good about it was, whenever there was a commercial where they needed someone, a dancer or someone in a can or some object, they went to us. So we were always like the ones, we were like the designated under people, or so I don't know what you would call it.
But I am curious, were you able to see through
Yeah. There was like a
so like a mascot costume,
like
you can actually see
mesh.
what you're doing.
Yeah, it was a mesh that you could see, yeah.
Wow. Craig Pomranz, I have even more somehow respect for you for doing that than I even do for being Orthodox. Well, not more for being Orthodox, but for your music, for your dance, for your teaching too. You're saying, are you still coaching?
I was in Seattle teaching master classes, and I teach master classes at different festivals and stuff like that, and then I sing in the festival. So yeah, I was in Seattle.
So if people want to study voice though with you, can they contact you somehow through the website or?
Oh, I would love to do, yeah, and they can just contact me through my website, or if they see a festival that they're interested in. And what I like about it is, because a lot of people are teaching master classes, but I'm not teaching voice, because I've never had a voice lesson. So I'm not teaching voice. I'm lucky enough that my dad could sing, but I'm teaching how to tell a story through song, and and how to make it personal to you. It's a very different thing than just making sound. So I'm very proud of it. And I love my students, and they keep in touch with me, and they ask me for material, and I'm happy to give it to them. And, it's great.
Are any of your students well known? Can you name, not yet.
I mean, well known. One is well known me, but I know, not, maybe like in their particular town, maybe, but not.
Even so. You are well known and beloved by us now. Craig Pomranz. Yes, Yechezkel Feibel, what was it? Yechiel Feibel, Pomranz. We wish you many, 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 many more years of teaching, singing, a little bit of dancing too, in and out of cans. And all good things and many good Shabbases to come. Thank you for joining us.
This was great. You were great. You're really great. Shalom. Shalom.
He certainly is great. Rabbi Sol Solomon is, as is Craig Pomranz. Remember, you can see him this Tuesday night at Don't Tell Mama. You can see me right here, right now, live on this program, which we call Dave's Gone By. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. My darling and adorable wife is with us as well. You guys are watching at home or wherever you're watching. On this May 16th, 2026, we have still more to do of this show. We've got the Friends of the Daverhood. We've got the Colorado Limerick of the Damned. And Rabbi Sol Solomon will be coming back with a rabbinical reflection saying farewell to the late Abraham Foxman of the ADL. But before we get to all of that, it is bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum. No, we'll change the music today. Instead of the tell me a story music, we have this. Thank you. Thank you so much, Stinky Pig. Stinky Pig is, and Pig is appropriate because this is a kid who lives on a farm. So for the past couple of weeks, we've been seeing there's horses, there's a piggy. There's a piggy. That's not, why am I pointing at another cow? Hold it. No, there's a pig in here somewhere.
He's hidden.
He steps on it or something, or he turns it into bacon. He does something with a pig. I don't recall. But anyway, he and his sister and his little brother, they all live on this farm. He's a bit of a klutz, but a well-meaning klutz and an inventor. This kid is always thinking of things to create and sell and help with the farm, which is having money trouble. So the father and mother, they're going to make a decision to move to the city, just so the father can make a go of it, get a job. Now, they're talking about all this, and then he thinks of an interim job, or the father gets one, before going to his big job, which is helping out at Mrs. Mayberry's store. So, the school, Okay, so they're in school. I'm trying to remember what the hell I read last week. But what we do on StoryTime is read somebody else's book and comment on it as necessary or generally unnecessarily. And that's about it. So Pa's new job, yada yada. And the kid, Logan Pryce, it's Maple Ridge, Logan Pryce makes a mess, helps his father. Logan will get $1 a day or a week. The father will get like $5 a week to help out at Mayberry's General Store. On Wednesday after school, Logan walked over to Mayberry's, and the sign in front read, Mayberry's General Store. That was good. Dry goods, groceries, clothing, and general merchandise. Not sure why they wrote it like that, but if you've ever had merchandise, you know how good that stuff is.
Yeah.
Mayberry's was on Main.
Nowadays.
Can we go to a merchandise store
I
later?
think we did this morning.
That's right. We got this.
We got
Yeah,
here.
and the card game too. Here we go. Yeah, puns again. I can't. All right, there we go. Mayberry's was on Main Street in downtown Maple Ridge. Other buildings on the street including a barber shop, a church, and the town hall, and a Walmart.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, go figure.
I had all? I didn't realize.
Horses hitched to the posts grazed lazily on oats. Other horses trotted along, making clip-clop sounds as they pulled carts behind them. Logan had always loved the general store. Because the specific store, yeah, he didn't like the specific store that much. On Saturdays, Ma went there to trade her homemade butter and jam for tea, sugar, and other items that she needed. Logan, Tess, and Annie, this is the whole family here,
Oh, wow.
they liked to come along because Mrs. Mayberry sometimes gave them penny candies.
Ooh, nice.
Taking penny candies from strangers, eh? Mayberry's also sold other goods like clothing, medicine, heroin,
Wow.
and books.
And cocaine probably too.
That's yeah, back then, absolutely. And psilocybin mushrooms.
Wow. Goodness gracious.
I know, right? Huh?
No wonder why he wants to join this team.
In fact, even though Logan's boots had been hand-me-downs from Drew, his older brother, they originally were from Mayberry's. Last year, I know, right? Last year, Tess had used her Christmas money to buy The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Rather interesting choice, but okay. A tiny bell jingled as Logan opened the front door. The air inside the store smelled like spices, coffee, kerosene oil, and farts. Well, hello there, young man. Mrs. Mayberry stood behind the counter weighing bags of flour, which I don't think is a metaphor for the size of her tits, but could be. Your father tells me you'd like to help out this week. I told him that was fine by me. Why don't you get started? He's in the back unpacking boxes. Thanks, Mrs. Mayberry, Logan said excitedly. As he made his way to the back of the store, Logan admired the glass cases filled with shiny pens and silverware. Mail peeked out of the cubbyholes, waiting to be picked up, kind of like girls from New Jersey. Oh. Just past the clothing section was a small office belonging to Mr. Mayberry. According to Pa, he was away on a trip to buy new goods for the store. Logan found Pa crouching beside a large pile of boxes.
Oh, look, it's still going on the.
Oh, it's,
Oh, now
that's,
you're back.
that's a long delay.
You're back. You're back.
Pa glanced up and wiped his brow with the back of his sleeve. Should have worn a long sleeve shirt here. Hello, son. I'm glad you're here. What can I do, Pa?
Aww.
Well, she already told him to unpack boxes, but anyway. First,
Don't forget his dad is not the right.
that's right, he can't run a farm.
His dad basically stays in the kitchen while the mother does all the work. So.
As it should be. First, we unload the items from these boxes. Then we check off each item in this list. Pa held up a bundle of papers. Once the item is checked off, we put it on the shelves, where it will be ready for customers to buy. Got it, said Logan. The two of them worked steadily for the next hour, and Logan quickly learned where everything went in the store. He even knew where the heroin and the mushrooms went.
I don't think so, because he didn't know he had to pack boxes when they told him.
Yeah, that's true. At one point, Mrs. Mayberry called Pa up front to help a customer with a heavy crate. Don't do anything till I get back,
And here comes the.
Pa told Logan. Yeah? Oh no. They also sold ice cream. Okay. Thank you. So, and Logan promised that he won't do anything until his father returns. I wonder. So while Pa helped the customer, Logan leaned against a crate and waited. After a while, he noticed a small box sitting by itself in the corner. M. Bird was written across it. Maybe I could tackle that one on my own, he thought. Pa would probably be glad to have one less box to deal with.
Because Pa doesn't do anything. Basically, he's in the kitchen. He's like, what? And we're eating food now. Remember the story? He was in the kitchen. And the mother's like, we're eating food and we're on the table. At the table, he's like, food? What? He was like,
Father's kind of, he's an absentee in a way.
This one, you need this.
I do need this. There we go.
What's this one?
That's the other horn.
How does it do it?
Push it. Push forward on it. So Logan opened the box, and he peered at the contents. Inside were 3 pairs of women's gloves. Uh-oh.
He's got sisters.
There may be a dildo from Adam and Eve in here, a silk hat, and a dozen hairpins. He pulled out the items and placed them on the correct shelves throughout the store. Well, the entire task took less than 5 minutes. I'm wondering if he just pulled out all her personal items.
He
and...
may just be the great hope of the family. I don't know.
Easy as pie, Logan thought with a smile. At this rate, he and Pa would be finished with the shipment in no time at all. Uh-oh!
What?
Chapter 7,
What?
the big mix-up. I think Logan becomes kind of gender questioning in this one.
I think he's a good kid.
Logan did a fine job today at Mayberry's, declared Pa, when he and Logan got home. Tess and Drew sat at the table doing schoolwork. Ma heated water on the stove for Annie's bath, and Skeeter gnawed on an old beef bone. Skeeter, of course,
that's
is
the dog.
his younger brother.
That's the dad. That's the dad.
Well, I knew he would, Ma said, drying her hands on her apron. What exactly did you two men have to do? She said. Lots. Logan pushed back his shoulders and ran a hand through his scruffy blonde hair. He liked that Ma had called him and Pa men. Although, as I said, he's questioning if maybe he might become a girl. But maybe in a year or two. I even unpacked a box all by myself, he added proudly. Pa frowned. What box are you talking about, son?
Oh, no.
Well, while you were up front, I unpacked one of the boxes and put everything on the shelves, Logan replied. The box was in the corner. It had something to do with a bird. Pa turned pale. You mean the box marked M bird? And he was like, no, the box marked Q bird. Of course the box was. Logan nodded, that's the one. What's wrong, Dale? Ma asked worriedly. That box was different from the others. We weren't supposed to unpack it, Pa explained. It's for Mr. Bird. He ordered some special items from Chicago for his wife's birthday.
Uh-oh.
He's planning on picking up the box in person tomorrow.
Look what that, did he sell it?
What? Or I'll do that. What?
Poor kid.
Said the stupid kid. Logan gasped. Pa peered at his pocket watch. I better get down to the store right away. I need to find those items and return them to Mr. Bird's box.
Wait, is that the father's store? Or, no, it's Herschel's.
It's Mayberry's. Mr. Mayberry's store. He just works there.
Why is his dad so involved?
Because his dad took this part-time, this temporary job before he gets the full job elsewhere. Oh. So he's working at Mayberry's and...
Father's not even a good worker.
This is the kid's fault. Pa told him, don't touch anything. And the stupid kid wanted to help, yeah. Otherwise, someone might buy them by mistake. Logan's lip quivered, and he peed himself. I'm sorry, Pa, I was just trying to help, he wanted to say, but before he could finish his sentence, Pa grabbed his overcoat and ran out the door. Wouldn't you bring the kid, because the kid's the only one who knew what's in the box?
Wait a minute. Well, the father's not, the father is, let's just say, I think the father was like an epitotic hire, because I don't think he would have got the job himself.
And speaking of family troubles, why is it, like, the sister's naked in the tub, like in the middle of the room there with the dog?
That's how they had it in the olden days. The tub was in the house. You filled it with hot water.
I know, but there'd be privacy.
I think she's trying to get away from that in
Yeah.
any way possible. These are not my people.
Oh, boy. Well, let's see what happens. Chapter 8, Making It Right. Dum. Logan sat on his bed, turning his fox away over and over on his lap. Now, that's not a sexual metaphor. In the previous chapters, Logan is an inventor, so he invented this thing for keeping foxes away from vegetables and plants, and it's this thing with a can and a string and whatever. So he's holding this thing. He was a dumb inventor. He was dumb, plain and simple. It's rare when people in books have such self-knowledge so early on. To actually realize you're an idiot is one thing from other people realizing you're an idiot. How could you have messed things up so badly at the general store?
Yeah.
In the other bed, Drew leafed through Popular Science magazine by lamplight.
Wow.
The two boys shared a small room in the back of the house. It was right above the kitchen, so it was warm and toasty even on chilly nights.
Oh, nice.
So brothers don't have to snuggle together and do disgusting incestuous things. But sometimes they do anyway. Skeeter lay on the rug and whimpered.
Oh, look, honey, butts on things for today. Look.
I said, oh.
I think we've seen that one. It looks familiar.
I don't remember this one at all.
No.
What's the W for, though? This is the butts on things for today.
That's the butt. It's emulating the butt.
Yeah. I suppose it's an upside down. I got it. All right. So the brothers reading Popular Science in the bed nearby in the small room, and the dog looked as gloomy as Logan felt inside. I know, boy. My life is ruined, Logan murmured. Drew set his magazine down with a sigh. Your life isn't ruined. You just made a mistake, you fucking moron. Really? Oh, you just made a mistake, he said impatiently. What if Pa can't fix it, though? What if someone already bought Mrs. Bird's birthday presents? What if Mrs. Mayberry finds out it was my fault? God, what a whiner. What if Pa doesn't get paid because of me? What if Pa never finds work again? Logan put his hands over his eyes. Stop being so dramatic, said Drew. Right on. You gotta have an older brother like that. Then a bullying, angry older brother. Yeah. What's dramatic? This is the little sister saying. It's when you make a big deal out of something that's not a big deal.
Oh, no, that's a good explanation.
Yeah. Someone knocked.
That was Sister Smaller. She's the only hope of that.
Well, no, she was asking what dramatic was to the brother who's saying.
Maybe the brother's got some.
Oh, wait. Someone knocked not quietly at the door. Tess poked her head into the room. May we come in? Before the boys could answer, Annie skipped inside with Tess trailing behind. Both girls were dressed in flannel nightshirts. Dozens of cotton rag ribbons covered Annie's head. Tessie is curling my hair. Like, this is apropos of nothing. Tessie is curling my hair, Annie said happily. Aww. And we brought you presents.
Aww.
She thrust a shiny marble at Logan.
Wow.
Tess handed him a comb with missing teeth. Well, I thought you could use this in your fix-it shop.
God.
This is a messed up family. Thanks, but why are you guys giving me presents? Logan asked, genuinely confused. Because we wanted to cheer you up, Annie explained. Hey, I need some cheering up too, Drew joked. Where are my presents? Total older brother. Footsteps sounded on the stairs.
Honey.
Did something fall? Yeah.
Yes.
A moment later, Pa and Ma came into the boys' room. Pa was still wearing his overcoat, and his cheeks were red from the cold night air, and the cheeks on his face were too. Good news, Pa announced. I got to Mayberry's in time. Oh. Logan bolted up in his bed. You did? Pa nodded. Mrs. Bird's birthday presents were still on the shelves. I was able to return them to their box and seal everything up. Was Mrs. Mayberry mad? Logan asked nervously. Pa shook his head. She wasn't mad at all. She knew it was an honest mistake. Next time, just do as your father says and don't get any fancy ideas, Ma told Logan. Yes, Ma, and thank you, Pa, said Logan. You're welcome. It's like the Waltons here. You're welcome, son. Pa smiled at Logan. So did Ma and Tess. Annie climbed up on his bed and nestled her head on his shoulder. Drew, there's a little, something not right in this family. Drew gave him a thumbs-up sign and returned to his magazine. Skeeter wagged his tail.
Who's Skeeter?
Skeeter's a dog. Skeeter wags his tail.
Oh, that's cute.
And pray tell, what else would it wag? Logan felt all the worry whoosh out of his chest. Whoosh. Everything was right and normal again. No, this family, right, maybe normal, no. And for the next few days at the general store, he would do exactly as Pa said. And he could always save his fancy ideas for the fix-it shop. Dum, dum, dum. And now we get to, I think, what is the last chapter in Tales from Maple Ridge. Logan Pryce makes a mess. The Maple Syrup Party.
Ooh.
I think this took place right around Christopher Street in the village, and my cousin Michael went. Sunday was bright and cool as everyone gathered at the Pryce farm for their annual sugaring off. Yes, this was on Christopher Street. Logan and Tess stood in the doorway of the sugar house, licking syrup from their fingers. They loved maple syrup parties. Inside, the Brunas, Mrs. Mayberry, and other friends and neighbors boiled the sap they collected from maple trees. Platters, ooh, this does sound good, of baked beans, ham, pancakes, and apple pie. I'm hungry now. Covered a long table.
Yeah, we can go get a foodie if you
I
want.
want baked beans, ham, pancakes, and apple pie.
Who doesn't?
Outside, the woods glistened with melting snow. Glisten, 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 glisten. A cardinal landed on a branch and shook drops of water from its red wings. Children, ran around or poured hot syrup on snow to make jack wax candy. So I guess they're not only syruping off, but these children are jacking off, which is what you would do at a syrup party. Logan breathed in the delicious maple-scented air. I wish we could have a sugaring off every day, he said to Tess. Oh yeah, he wants to sugar off with her, if you know what I'm saying, and I hope you don't. Do you think this will be our last one?
I hope not.
Asked
I
Tess with
hope
a
not.
sad smile. Well, they're moving. Remember, they're moving to the city. No, Logan replied, just because Pa is not going to farm anymore, because he's incompetent, doesn't mean we're going to stop making food. We'll still need syrup and milk and butter and vegetables and eggs. Eggs! His face lit up. Eggs!
Why?
What about them? Come with me, I have to show you something. Logan started running through the woods. Tess followed, and so did Skeeter. When they got to the hen house, Logan stopped. Oh, hand me the little baby eggs, please. Oh.
First time these?
Here's.
Give me
Oh,
that.
so first we need these,
Oh, this is the
obviously.
thumbtack. You don't want the thumbtack. Hold on.
Oh, do not give me the thumbtack.
Put it in your other hand.
And then, behold. Now, which came first? Okay, here's the chickens. Here are the adorable little eggs. Logan has actually been. All right, hold on. They're not all going to fit. Hold on.
Give them.
Oh, carefully. And there's one. You're good. May I present, says Logan, the fox away! Bump, 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 bump. Logan waved his hand at the hen house. Dozens of flattened tin cups were strung along the door.
And the comb his sister gave him.
That's right. Oh, inside, the hens made a soft clucking noise. Oh, look, she's holding chickens and everything. There they are. Logan, that's wonderful, Tess cried out. When did you finish it? This morning. I put it up just after breakfast. The loud clanking from the fox away will scare the foxes so the hens can lay their eggs in peace, Logan explained. I think this could be your best invention yet, Tess said. Skeeter barked in agreement. Yes! As they stood there admiring the fox away.
What language do they speak, honey?
Well, these barely English,
Okay.
not the brightest people. Logan thought about his family's farm. He wasn't sure what would happen to it tomorrow, or in the next month, or in the next year. Would Pa ever go back to planting wheat? Would they have to move away someday?
Whoa, I hope not.
Logan was sure about a few things, though. No matter what happened, he would go on fixing and inventing things. Tess would go on reading books and being smart. Drew would go on making big plans for his future and also being kind of an asshole to his brother. Annie would go on being sweet, adorable Annie. And actually grow up to be a very popular whore. And no matter what, their family would go on being a family. As far as Logan was concerned, that was the best thing of all. I mean, there's one big, happy, incredibly white family in America. There they are. And by the way, if you're jonesing for a further installment of the Maple Ridge series, because I have only this one book, here's a sneak peek. The next morning, Logan woke up earlier than usual. It was pitch black outside as he headed to the barn. A sliver of moon lingered in the sky. Linger. Did they have to let it linger? The air was clear and cold, and he could see his breath. Skeeter trotted along beside him, alert for raccoons and possums or as we like to call
Do
them,
you know
opossums.
the director Joe Settlemeyer? He died.
Joe Settlemeyer, that sounds
It
familiar.
says 91.
J.J. Settlemeyer?
I don't know. I can't.
I think he used to do cartoons for Saturday Night Live.
Influential directors of all time.
Who?
Godley and Cream? I don't know.
Wait a minute, wait. Godley and Cream were they wrote songs. What?
I don't know who
Or
it
maybe
is.
commercials?
I don't know. It says here, Joel Settlemeyer. Hold on, okay. I'm going to look it up. Somebody just posted it. I don't know. Your people are art people.
Right, but let me finish. In the barn, Logan raced through his usual chores. First, he milked the cows, milk. Then he brushed the horses, brush. Lightning and Buttercup mucked. Oh, he mucked their stalls too. Shit. When his chores were done, he got to working his fix-it shop. The shop, okay.
Is he still working?
Well, this is a force spice. This is an appetizer for the next book. When his chores were done, he got to working his fix-it shop, which took up a corner of the barn. A work table, a chair, and some crates were its only furniture. The broken wheel sat in the middle of Logan's work table. He picked it up and studied it. He had a plan. Oh, it's like Stephen King. What a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what happens to Logan Pryce. Now, Joe Settlemeyer, that was StoryTime, by the way. Director of iconic 70s and 80s TV commercials. Okay. I was confusing him with someone else. So he did.
That's why he did that.
Oh, he did the "Where's the Beef" commercials.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
That was very famous, no?
And then what else?
I'll
Yeah.
play the Cobra music.
Aw.
And look what you have. Where's the beef? And you have the sandwiches.
Oh, I do. There's the beef. Beef is right there. Beef. So thank you, Joe Settlemeyer, for all the commercials and the fun from the 1970s, which I do remember. I'm old enough to remember. Also old enough to remember to tell you that this program is Dave's Gone By. It's about 11:30 in the morning Eastern Time, and this is the 1032nd episode of the show. We have been calling it POM de TERRE, POM for Craig Pomranz, our new friend of the Daverhood. Make sure that you see him on Tuesday night, this Tuesday, May 19th, at Don't Tell Mama on West 46th Street. He's doing his cabaret show, Love is a Necessary Evil. So we thank Craig for joining us, for being a brand new friend of the Daverhood. We also thank our older friend of the Daverhood, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder, spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches. Rabbi Sol has been with us since our very first episode 24 and a half years ago. He does most of our interviews now. He also does rabbinical reflections, and these are mini sermons, like 5-6 minute sermons about the state of the world, about the state of Judaism, about jokes sometimes. It's whatever comes into the rabbi's cool, funny, crazy Jewish head, his Yiddish Kopf, if you will. And his Yiddish Kopf runneth over very often. So before we get to our friends of the Daverhood, more of our friends of the Daverhood, and our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, let's get to Rabbi Sol's sermon this week. Not a particularly happy occasion, because this week marked the passing of Avraham Foxman, Abe Foxman, the head of the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, which is basically concerned with anti-Jewish prejudice and anti-Semitism and wonderful things like that, which, gosh, have been eradicated from America, haven't they? Not quite. But unfortunately, Foxman has been eradicated at the ripe old age. I think it was 87. So let's, I'm going to have to share my screen in a moment. Let me see if I can open it a different way and maybe not have the, let's try that way instead. Oh, it's still QuickTime Player. I don't know. Anywho, time to share my screen again. So without further ado or don't, the creator of Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Sol Solomon, the creator of the television series Shalom Dammit, Rabbi Sol Solomon's Peace, Love, and Acid Reflux Hour, and our beloved recurring guest of this program, Rabbi Sol Solomon. Shalom, damn it! This is Rabbi Sol Solomon with a rabbinical reflection for mid-May 2026. Baruch Dayan Ha'emet Abraham Chanoch Hanach Foxman, which is a lot of names to say goodbye to Abraham Foxman, for 30 years the indefatigable head of the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL. Now, before the Israel bashers chime in, please don't confuse the ADL for AIPAC. AIPAC lobbies for money from American politicians to keep Israel safe, secure, and on the map. The ADL calls out the kind of idiots who bitch about AIPAC. The ADL is there to monitor anti-Semitism and torchlight it before it becomes Germany 1933. Founded in 1913, the ADL is an offshoot of the B'nai B'rith, and if you've ever had a B'rith, you know how painful that can be. Thank God for the B'nai B'rith, because it's an organization devoted to protecting Jews and the Jewish homeland, Israel. The Anti-Defamation League is exactly what its name promises: taking people to task when they do or say racist things affecting the Jewish people. That was Abraham Foxman's job for 30 years. Trained in the law, Foxy would hear some terrible comment by a politician or a great actor or Mel Gibson, and he'd be there to say, "Watch your fucking mouth." Maybe not in those words. With his gift of persuasion, Foxman would guilt the guilty party into apologizing and admitting the error of their ways, or at least pretending to, for the sake of public relations. More than just catching and punishing people, Foxman truly wanted our enemies to realize the harm they were doing and make them see our side of the story. We find a great example of this in a column earlier this year in the Jewish Daily Forward. It covers Foxman's prickly friendship with another recent dead guy, Jesse Jackson. When he ran for president, Jackson might have garnered sizable Jewish support. He was a liberal, a friend of MLK, a voice for the underclass. But Jesse got frustrated by the bureaucracy of New York politics and was heard calling the Big Apple Hymie-town, which is a nicer way of saying Kike-town. Just the way Schwarze-town is a nicer way of saying, well, anyway. The media picked up on Jackson's racial slur, not to mention his buddy-buddyship with Louis Farrakhan, and now not only wouldn't Jews vote Jackson for president, they wouldn't even trust him as a Shabbos goy. So, Abraham Foxman let Jackson have it, which started a dialogue, which led to years of grudging mutual respect, and Jackson paying attention to and often supporting the Jewish community. Was he perfect? No. Are you perfect? No. Am I perfect? Was Abraham Foxman perfect? Of course not. It's easy to overreact when someone in a pissy mood blurts a slur. However, hate speech is a slippery slope, and more power to the ADL for throwing down a little gravel to impede the slide. How sad it is that Foxman died at a time when we need him most, when social media has brainwashed a generation of college students to despise Israel, when every musical micro-talent spouts Hamas talking points better than their own shitty navel-gazing lyrics, when the New York Times, always suspect when it came to Eretz Yisrael, falls all over itself, printing false narratives for liberals to immerse themselves in a Gaza pity party. Jonathan Greenblatt is the new CEO of the ADL. Actually, not so new. He's been running it since Foxman retired a decade ago. And I commend him for filling his predecessor's big shoes in a quieter way. But Silence isn't always golden. And while Abe Foxman helped bring the right wing under Israel's chuppah, the progressive left has left the altar and thrown itself into the arms of Hezbollah. I don't think Foxman's turning in his grave, because he was a big guy and his stomach would get blocked by the coffin lid, but I'm sure he'd have much to say about the state of the world and the state of Israel. If only we could still listen. This has been a rabbinical reflection from Rabbi Sol Solomon, Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. Oliver Shalom. Actually, that was not 2012. That was 2026. I don't know how that got there. But anywho, Rabbi Sol, yeah. Usually I have to do the disclaimer of kind of like, the views expressed by Rabbi Sol Solomon do not represent, they represent my views too. So thank you to Rabbi Sol for that. Again, if you want to see more of his rabbinical reflections, and he's done more than 200 of them, just go to his website, shalomdammit.com. You will also find them on the davesgoneby.com website. The first many dozen of them were audio only, and then he's been doing them on video for a couple of years. But either way, all of the rabbi's archives, shalomdammit.com, plus his reflections on davesgoneby.com. Check them out, please. All righty, well, it is 22:12 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching Dave's Gone By, and we still have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned to do. But, Hung, is there anything that we also want to talk about or bring up? Or I do have, what else do we can really talk about our little very, 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 very quick getaway.
Until next week, no, because it's already 11:42.
Yeah, we got that. There wasn't that much to... Well, no, we have to talk about the meal. We have to talk about...
The meal, or where you kind of made...
Yeah. Come on, you were jonesing about this all week long.
I'm not saying anything.
To tell me... Well, part of this is my story, part of this is your story. So, my wife has a conference to go to elsewhere in Maryland. And it's just a one-nighter. You know, we go there, we spend the night in a sweet little hotel that's connected to the conference. And... everything's fine, everything's great. It says you get a free breakfast with, the hotel reservation. And it's kind of nice to have this big loungy area downstairs in the hotel, and then, your typical breakfast buffet, which was really nice. Nice stuff, pancakes and great, wonderful, super duper. And also we decided, since we got there the afternoon before, to spring for dinner, which was not covered in the bill, to pay for dinner and do the dinner buffet in this hotel, because there's not a lot walking distance near this place. It's not as if you can just go, you have to be in a car and drive a mile or two or three to get to some serious restaurants in the neighborhood. So it's like, you know what, we're tired, we're here, they've got a buffet, we've heard the food is really, really good, let's go and let's do it. And whatever, $35 a person, like, wow. But that's what it is, and there's, you don't have to tip anybody, and it's all included. So we go down to the dinner buffet, and I'm looking there, and it's looking pretty scant, right? And also, the downstairs room is very sedate, it's very quiet, but it's also a little grim. It's a little kind of like old Holiday Inn decor. It's sort of like, this is a little bit mangy, but I also kind of like a little bit mangy. And we put ourselves, we get a table away from, and it wasn't that crowded, so we can get a pretty far away table to ourselves. But I look over at the buffet dinner that they have, and they've got 2 meat entrees, and they've got other things. There's a perfectly good amount of food, but it's like they have steak and they got pork chops. So immediately I'm like, I'm down. I spear myself a steak, I spear myself a pork chop. I go back to the thing. My wife is getting her vegetarian stuff. They've got salad. She's very happy with that, and yogurt. So I'm eating the steak, and it's kind of not. It's almost like one of these breakfast steaks that you get at IHOP Well, not that it's bad, but it's very thin and it's a little overcooked and it's basic. I'm like, really? Really? This is supposed to be so great? And the pork chop was also been like it was sitting there since lunch. And I was kind of like, oh, this is good. I'm going to fill up, and there was other things to eat, certainly. And they had bagels if I wanted, and they had a poke bowl fixing thing. That was really, really good. You could go, it was like if you unfurled a sushi and took out its components and just mixed them in a bowl with cooked shrimp. And that was like the best. I was like, ooh, this is all right. This is worth almost the meal. So I'm polishing off a piece of steak. I'm polishing off the pork. Because remember, these things are still tasty and edible. They're just a little chewy and overcooked and disappointing. But it's not as if they were bad. It's not as if it was terrible. It was tasty. But then my wife notices out of the corner of her eye, and perhaps her corner of her nose as well, she sees one of the workers at the hotel pushing a cart of fresh renewal foods like they do at a buffet. And she realizes, oh, ho, ho. Now they're bringing in the new steaks to replenish. Because I was kind of at the bottom of the barrel when we came in. Because it was about 5:30 and the buffet started at 5. So now they're piling these things. And she goes right there. She's like, you stay here, Dave. So I was like, okay. And she goes, and she sees now that the steaks that they brought in are way different from the steaks that were there when we first came in. Now they've got these beautiful like tenderloin or skirt steaks that are like thick and juicy and medium. And she goes to spear one for me because she hasn't been a meat eater in 20 years. She goes to take one, and there's this like 7-foot marine kind of dude, because it's sort of a maritime center place. And this guy is like 280 pounds, 7 feet tall, and he's going for the same piece of steak. And so now it's like, after you, Gaston, no, after you, Gaston. But my wife is like, I'm getting that for my husband. And he backed off. He was, because there were all these other, new pieces of steak as well. But that was the best one. And she's like, no, that's for my husband, Dave. And this huge monster military guy was like, okay, I'll just grab another piece of steak then. And my wife proudly came back to the table, I didn't have to do this, she did this for me, bearing a luscious, new, perfectly cooked steak that I ate with such relish. They even had A1 sauce, and I just was in, and that was worth totally the price of the meal now. Because when you're making a steak like
The
that,
graham cracker ice cream.
oh, that was good too. That's right, for dessert. I forgot about that too.
No, I don't recall. You went to the table. I don't know what it said it said like the best graham cracker or something.
Well, for dessert,
Grand Central cracker.
it was called. They had for dessert a little dessert station, tiny one, but still they had rum balls.
Oh, yeah. I've never said that. Yeah.
Which made me think of Richard Simmons, because Howard Stern always used to make him say rum balls. But they had, and they were tasty, but I'm not big on that flavor. And also red velvet cake.
Yes.
Like, no. But ice cream. They had like 4 different flavors of ice cream, including something that they called Graham Central Station, which was sort of a graham cracker, cinnamon crunch kind of ice. It was delicious. And cookies and cream. Yep. So between that and the fresh steak and the decent pork and the pork poke bowl, I was a very fat man, but a very, very happy man. And what did you had salad, but what else did you have? Hon?
Just salad stuff and veggies.
That was, they had cooked broccoli and cauliflower. That's what they also had. They had broccoli and cauliflower with a little bit of seasoning. And that was all right. But that worked out very, very well. So we had a really nice dinner night before, stay over in the hotel, perfectly nice hotel, nice and quiet, comfortable, very nice room, lovely grounds. Yeah. We had actually a decent view.
Yeah,
which,
lovely grounds.
Yeah. Half the time we're getting
lovely
hotels.
Grounds.
I'm getting there. Half the time when we're in New York, we get a perfectly nice room and you look out the window and it's like, but this was, Maryland. It was nice. So the next day, she's got her conference, and we've got the hotel only for half a day because we have to leave. So I stay in the hotel room until I'm all packed up and go. But now I've got to kill about 4 or 5 hours because I've got to be out of the room, and there's no real place to go because there's not much of a town. I could take a shuttle into town. I didn't really feel like doing that. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I go walking around these lovely green pastoral grounds around this campus, which has a hotel on it. And I notice away from the shuttle stop, away from the main buildings, there's another small one-story building that is on the grounds with these big white deck chairs right by the building. And I'm like, that is the place for me. It's away from everybody. It was literally, the chairs were positioned under this big shady tree. I had my computer with me, and I was like, well, this is great. I'm just going to sit here for a couple of hours because the weather was gorgeous. Sit here for a couple of hours, work on my computer a bit, and then, and then go back and go inside because it's going to rain later in the day. And I'm sitting on the tree, and I'm noticing it's a little ticking me off because I can't get Wi-Fi. And I knew I could get Wi-Fi in the building, but now I've got to work on something that doesn't need Wi-Fi. I have other things to do on the computer, so I'm working there, sitting on this lovely chair in this lovely, shady part. Was on a sunny day. I had grabbed a thing of yogurt from breakfast, so I had that for lunch, like some Chobani blueberry yogurt. I'm sitting there eating. I have a little bag of popcorn that I brought for the trip. I ate that. I'm just having, the life of Riley, having this lovely time.
Beautiful. You just kept saying to me that when you texted me, you said the weather's beautiful.
Weather's beautiful. The site was beautiful. The situation was beautiful. And I'm right by this little small building. And then at about, for literally 2 hours of this, a guy comes out of the building. And he says, hi, hey, are you with the hotel? Are you at the hotel, the conference? And I'm like, yeah, my wife is there for the conference, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, what you should know is that this is my house. This is private property. This has nothing to do with the hotel. You're literally in my backyard. I've been sitting in this poor guy's backyard for like 2 hours eating and working. And I was like, oh, God, sorry. I was like, but to be fair.
But you weren't messy. You didn't.
I was not messy.
Did you throw the...
I think I dropped a couple of popcorn kernels, but the birds didn't get that.
But that's natural. That's good for hopefully the squirrel.
But there was literally no delineation. No sign saying private property. No gate, no fence, no string, nothing. You could see the main building of the conference center.
He was a caretaker or...
Yeah, probably, or watching the place.
Yeah, or maybe he was like one of them. But you said he didn't look military because it's a military base, right?
Well, he could have been. He didn't look like necessarily Marine or Army, but
active military.
Well, no, he was too old for that. But I just felt like, oh God, I'm sorry, I'll be gone in 2 minutes. And I was. I packed up really quick and I hightailed it back to the hotel just in time before the rains came, and then I worked in the hotel and got my Wi-Fi back, which was helpful. So, but that explains why I couldn't get Wi-Fi.
You kept saying somebody's home. What is that Wi-Fi? I need the... That's hysterical.
Yeah. Good thing I didn't really need to use the bathroom and march into the...
Oh, could you imagine? You're going in and you're with your pass trying to scan it.
So this is a typical Dave story. Yeah. I basically, what do they call that? The trespassed. I loitered.
You had some good... I basically fought a Viking to get you steak.
Yes.
So I had a run-in with the military.
Manner of speaking.
As a vegetarian getting steak, right?
Yes.
Because I always wonder when I get food for you if people think I'm lying as a vegetarian. Because I met a woman she was vegetarian and we were talking about the options and just chatting.
Yeah.
But which was fun. But then I fought like a Viking military man
for the best piece of steak on the plate.
And he agreed too. He looked like somebody who ate like keto, like all just protein, like he never ate a green. And then we we do our necessities of life there. And then what do? You go sit in someone's yard.
for 2
They
hours.
should have just put a little sign on the chair, private property.
Yeah, or on the house,
Or
or on the,
something,
or
private
by
property.
the house, something to show that this is private property.
That's your friend.
Oh, we have a posting here on the Facebook feed from Pitts Quattrone. We love him. He's out there. He is, of course, a maker of and player of didgeridoos.
Yes.
There. He has a. That's not. Is that him? Oh, it is him. Yeah. Oh, it is
I
him.
don't know.
It looked like a woman for a minute, but that's
Sometimes
just his hair.
people, you know, they take pictures of a while ago.
So that's a shout out to Pitts Quattrone, which is a perfect lead-in to our friends of the Daverhood.
Oh, yeah.
These are folks who have appeared on the program, like we were talking just before. Our new friend Craig Pomranz was on this episode of the show. Well, we've had
Honey.
many wonderful guests. I don't even. So let me just find the music for it. Do I have any Beethoven on that? No, I don't.
Here, play this.
I have Mozart.
Play the ice cream truck.
Oh, yes.
Play the pig.
It's the same song. And they ending at the same exact time.
Don't touch it.
It's like the Shags. They're completely off meter, and then they intersect and then go back off.
Part 2.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I
Anywho,
didn't realize it was ice cream melody until you played it.
wow. But the weird thing, this played a different ice cream melody the last time I...
Yeah.
See, it does different...
Okay, try again.
That-
Okay. It's
okay.
Pop Goes the Weasel, right?
Yeah. So, with that music, that cues us in that it's time to just let you know what people who have been on this program in months and years past are
That's
up
not
to.
gonna stop, right?
I know. So here we go. Actually, this is kind of cool. We have a bunch of mazel tovs. I'm so happy to have this instead of refuah shlema or obituaries. These are good, happy things. Congratulations to our dancer friend, Valentina Kozlova. She was just on the show a couple of weeks ago.
She wrote a book.
On Monday, her daughter got married. Mazel tov, Simon tov, mazel tov, mazel tov. And speaking of marriage, gotta give a similar mazel tov to our longtime friend Julie Holston, the funny Broadway actress and cabaret person. She just married her longtime sweetheart Robert at City Hall on Thursday. So, 2 chazanas, isn't that yay? Oh. Also going to give a mazel tov to our actress friend Christine Petty. She was won and is given the 2026 Off-Broadway Alliance Legend of Off-Broadway Award. So that's a big mazel to Christine Petty. Oh, and big congratulations to singer-songwriter friend Janice Ian. She's not 17 anymore, but she will be an artist in residence at the Cafe Lena in Saratoga Springs, New York, over the summer. So congratulations, lots of congratulations. Want to let you know that if you're watching the miniseries The Grey House, Ben Vereen plays the Underground Railroad conductor in that show. I think that's an Amazon Prime program, so do check that out. Now, going back to theater, Debbie Gravit is on Broadway in Just in Time, and Harada is in Schmigadoon at the Nederlander. That's got a bunch of Tony nominations. Andre de Shields, he is in Cats, the Jellicle Ball. All of those are on Broadway. Want to remind you that now for a limited time at the Public Theater, Amy Mann's musical Girl Interrupted is playing. And then on the 16th, which is today, at Don't Tell Mama. Oh, we've been talking about that a lot. Debbie Zecker is one of the many cabaret singers who will be in What We Did for Love. It's a Cab Lab showcase that is at Don't Tell Mama today. And then tomorrow night at 7, Katie Sullivan with Mark Nadler. They've done tons of things together. And Leroy Reams and Natalie Douglas and Steve Ross and Jeff Harner are all going to be at Green Room 42. Oh, so here's the thing. Oh, it's a tribute to Katie Sullivan. So all these people that she's worked with that love her will be tributing her, including a couple of cabaret legends there. And they've all been on our show. On Sunday also, two of our friends, Donna McKechnie and Ann Harada, will be presenters at the Drama Desk Awards happening at Town Hall. On Monday, choreographer Bill T. Jones is hosting New York Live Arts Gala. That is over on West 26th Street. And then on Tuesday, Michael Portantier is producing 54 Below Sings Lerner and Low. And among the singers who are going to be doing, My Fair Lady songs, as well as On a Clear Day songs and some others, will be Martin Vidnovic, Robert Cuccioli, and Gerard Alessandrini. So we're getting a lot of multiples today. This is so thrilling. That is Tuesday night at 54 Below. Playing now through ending today. Beth Malone is singing
Is he on your tribute to this person? Was that person on your show?
Phil Oakes. Phil Oakes was dead before I started.
Tribute.
Yeah.
I thought the person who was doing it. I don't know.
No, it's not Phil Oakes. It's Lerner and Low.
It's a tribute.
Yeah. Beth Malone. Beth Malone is singing 1990 lesbian icon anthems. That is happening 54 Below tonight. And then playing now through tomorrow, Daphne Rubin Vega is in a revival of Elmer Rice's play The Adding Machine. The new group is doing that at Theater at St. Clement's. Robert W. Schneider, the indefatigable, is directing The Mystery of Edwin Drood off-Broadway at the AMT Theater. It's the J2 Theater Company that's doing it. Playing now through late July on Broadway. Ruben Santiago Hudson is in Joe Turner's Come and Gone.
Is it more because it's going to summer? That's why there's so busy?
Yeah. Well, all these things open on Broadway the past couple of weeks.
That makes sense.
And the Tony Award nominations were announced a week ago. Lonnie Pryce, speaking of Broadway, is co-directed the Broadway musical Beaches, which features a book and lyrics by Iris Rayner Dart, also our friend of the Daverhood. And the usual suspects, Evan Seplow, founded and edits StageBuddy.com. Vicky Quaddy does her shows, including Late Night Catechism and Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago and elsewhere in the Midwest and Chicagoland area. David Sheward writes theater reviews for TotalTheater.com. Darren DeVivo has his new radio show, Noises from the Valley, on WKZE Radio Friday nights. Eva Heinemann, she is the founder and host of High Drama, a theater review program that you can watch on YouTube. And Charlie Gross and Leslie Hobank Blake co-host Two on the Aisle, another theater review program that you can watch on YouTube. Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland, and reminding you that you can listen to longtime radio host Carol Miller on Q104.3 FM weeknights from 7 to midnight. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Thank you very much. Well, it is just afternoon on this Saturday afternoon. You're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and wonderful and amazing and adorable wife, and all of you watching at home. Remember to tell people that they can catch all our archives at davesgoneby.com and also archive.org and also Spotify now. Remember my other website, davelefkowitz.org. Dave Lefkowitz, my name, LEFKOWITZ.org. That is where my writing is. That's where you can read my short stories, my one-act plays, my full-length plays, the interviews that have been published in Long Island Woman and some in Playbill and other places, plus my song lyrics, tons and tons of stuff. DaveLefkowitz.org. Please give it a look. Well, speaking of writing, it's time we got literary. It's time that we lifted, we elevated the culture of this program by bringing in poetry. as we do towards the end of every single episode of Dave's Gone By, we go to the lovely state of Colorado, where my wife and I lived for more than a decade, and I began to write short poems about all different places in Colorado. Big cities, small towns, ghost towns. If it's on the Wikipedia list of places in Colorado, I've tried to write a poem about it. And Limerick, a 5-line poem with 3 of those rhymes based on the name of the town. So I started doing it many, many years ago, still doing a new one every week. And this week, we go to Colorado City. Colorado City, Colorado. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it and then read you this week's horrible, risque, disgusting poem.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme, and likewise verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain,
So, ladies and gentlemen, Colorado City, Colorado. So, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about it before I favor you, I glorify you with a poem about it. So, here we go. Colorado City is an unincorporated community in Pueblos County in south central Colorado. It was founded in the mid-1800s, really early this one, when a trader established a post there that was called Greenhorn. So Colorado City sits 6,000 feet high, so a bit higher than a mile high, with Greenhorn Mountain to the west and Spanish Peaks to the south. It became a settlement of basically Mexican families for a while. And by the way, please do not get confused. There was another Colorado City in Colorado Springs, but now that is called Old Colorado City. Yeah, I might have to rhyme that one too at some point, but not soon. Anywho, this Colorado City is governed by a board of directors, kind of an unusual political and social structure there, which is run by a district manager. But it's got lots of parks and recreational activities along Lake Beckwith, which is there, and a golf course and all the usual things that make Colorado so Colorado. But this is not just Colorado, this is Colorado City, and I've written an awful dirty little poem about it. Our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. A loser from Colorado City, whose dick is extremely itty-bitty, thinks, hey, no big deal, I've got sex appeal. But no, they just do him out of pity. The drum literally fell over while my wife was doing that. If you want to complain, and why wouldn't you? Dave's Gone By at AOL.com is the way to do that. Dave's Gone By at AOL.com. I try and read every letter that comes in. You can also, of course, post to me, message me on Facebook, Dave's Gone By, the page that you're watching right now. You can also find us on Instagram, and I think that's David Lefkowitz. What's my Instagram thing there? It's david.lefkowitz. We're also on Blue Sky, Dave's Gone By. We're also all sorts of places. We're at, that's all you need to know. And Radio Dave 2 is our Twitter feed, Radio Dave and the number 2. And of course, the Twitter feed for Rabbi Sol is at Rabbi Sol Solomon. So, wanted to give a shout out, by the way. We haven't really talked about him today much, but I've got to give a thank you to our great friend Art Paul Schlosser. He painted that amazing painting of me that I was proud to own now. And as he promised, he sent me some of his new and recent music. So there's some recordings from Art Paul that I can't play because nobody has a CD player except in the car. But here's the XYZs of Art Paul Schlosser, which includes, I don't think I have a year on this, might be new, but let's see. It includes such songs as Milk Crate Challenge Song, letter a lot of letter things. So there's a lot of songs with letter R, Robin, letter S, Serenade You, I get it. Letter T is Time to Clean Out Your Refrigerator. Letter U is Up With Your Girlfriend. Interesting. Y is for Your Dog. Z is it Zombies Are Coming. And for special, and the 50-second track on this, Embarrassing Moments Blooper. We're playing this in the car.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we are so playing it.
Go for it.
But then there's also this one. I dedicate this one to you. This is the pretty cover that Art
What is
Paul
it
drew.
called? What's the-
This is called The Art of Romance. Oh, I wish I got this for Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Among the songs on here by Art Paul, I'm Dating Your Dog. Yeah. Vegetables and Fruit. I'm Editing My Love for You. Some of these are co-written and written by other people. That's written by a guy named Tim Finnegan, who lived on Walking Street, by the way. General Irishman, my God. In the Middle of the Desert by Art Paul Schlosser and Eddie Sunglasses. Queen Baby. Kiss Me in the Moonlight. And of course, because this is an album about romance, there's the Cheese Curd song.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're going to be listening to both of
Is
these.
he from Wisconsin?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, he's in Madison, Wisconsin. He's a
That's
cheesehead.
cheese right here.
And then just because I have no idea, maybe he's trying to convert me, but he sent me these top 10 reasons Jesus is cooler than Batman. Alrighty.
Okay.
I don't know how much work he put into it, but you got to literally go through the Bible to find these verses. So Batman, let's start with number 10. Batman injures people, but Jesus heals them. That's from Matthew 8, verses 2-4. Batman has to swim or take the bat boat, but Jesus can walk on water. Batman has to spend money to feed the poor. Jesus can multiply bread. And I think he does some long division too. And then again, there's a passage in Luke verses. Batman had to guess what the villains were going to do, and he was lucky when they gave him the clue. But Jesus could read the minds of the teachers of the law. Batman can catch crooks and put them in jail, but Jesus can forgive crooks and take them to heaven. This is cute. Batman has one sidekick. Jesus has 12 apostles. That's cute. That's from Matthew 10, verses 2-4. Batman has to have a mask to disguise himself. Jesus can disguise himself without it. When did Jesus put on a disguise? He put on a wig. He went as Mary at one point. I don't know.
Disguise himself?
Batman had to break in the door if locked, but Jesus can walk through walls. Did he do that? I remember him doing that. Batman is mortal and one day will die. And hopefully, if he trusts in Jesus, he'll go to heaven. But Jesus is immortal and God and rose from the dead. Blah, blah, blah. Number 1, Batman is a fiction character and Jesus is real. The Bible says so, and so does Wikipedia. The writings of Art Paul Schlosser, the ministry.
Art Paul.
So if Rabbi Sol Solomon
I'll look him up.
isn't your cup of tea, there's always Art Paul Schlosser. That's beautiful. To find more, let's see, Art's music is on iTunes, Spotify, yeah, YouTube.
Johnny Depp presents the People's Artist? I don't... Can you...
Yeah. Apparently, Art Paul is vying to be
What?
the people's artist.
I don't know. What does that mean?
I think Johnny Depp is sponsoring some kind of contest
Oh, okay.
for artists to do their art. So Art Paul wants people to vote for him
Oh, here, let's...
to be the people's artist.
I'll put the... How do I put it in? Do I put a smiley?
I put a smiling, maybe we'll vote for him.
What do I-
And you can too. Just find everything at Art Paul's, his website, I guess. Well, no, I have his email address. I'm not going to give that.
There's a bunch of stuff. It says your vote.
But his artwork is at Instagram.com
One vote
/
is free. Should I vote for him?
Definitely vote.
10 votes are $10. One vote.
Oh, you have to pay?
No, one vote is free, right?
Yeah, we have one vote. Thank you.
Okay.
I already
Verified with Facebook. Oh,
bought a painting from him. All right. Work is Instagram.com/Art Paul Schlosser, SCHLOSSER. You can read it here. Oh, maybe you can't. Oh, yeah, you can. Here we go. Ta-da! The XYZs of Art Paul Schlosser. So I absolutely do thank Art Paul for painting me. He also took it into his head to paint when we had Carla Ulbrich on the show a week or two ago. He saw the picture we had of her and he painted her and did a cool job of that. So I sent him a picture of Potato because honestly I'd be tempted to. I'm thinking about it. He said if I want to commission him to paint it, he would certainly be happy to do it. So I'm thinking about it, or if we take up a collection, I make at some point.
I got acrylic paint. I could, if I get the color right, I could paint a potato.
Even more importantly,
Buy me a canvas. Buy me a canvas.
I will. We'll go to Michael's and paint a
Then
potato.
I will paint a potato for you.
You also said this weekend you're going to paint rocks.
Yeah, I know.
We have Google eyes.
Here, look. We not only have them, but they're mixed, small, large, medium. They're all different sizes.
So we got the Google eyes. We bought some rocks, and my wife is going to take acrylic paint and paint rocks and rock faces, and they can look like potatoes too. So it's a very, very exciting time in the land of the Daverhood. But unfortunately, speaking of time, ours is kind of up for the day. It's 12:15 already, and we've got to end this episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the Stream. It was our 1032nd episode. We expect to be back next Saturday, same time, with the 1023rd episode of the show. My darling and adorable wife will be with us then too, and I thank her ever so much for providing the support, the fun noises, the drum rolls, and everything that we need to make this show really, really happen. Plus, we've got to give a big thank you one more time to Craig Pomranz. He's at Don't Tell Mama this Tuesday night with his show. And then thank you again to Rabbi Sol Solomon also. ShalomDammit.com is his website. So, that about does it for this May 16th, 2026. Weather is going to start to get a bit of a heat wave here. We're going to get close to 90 in a day or two. Yikes. I was enjoying the nice, cool, breezy weather, but it's Maryland. It is what it is. So have a great one. We've got Shavuos coming in a week. Maybe Rabbi Sol will have something to say about that, maybe not. But whatever you do, make sure you check davesgoneby.com for all our archives, because if you're ever bored, just thousands of hours of our material, and share it with other people. Tell them that we're here. Tell them that we're now on Spotify as well. More and more and more, we want people finding the show, enjoying the show, writing back to us, davesgoneby@aol.com, and being part of the Daverhood too. So until then, we leave you with our usual theme song. No. No, it's this.
Days gone by. Days gone by. Days gone by.
And we will see you next week.